Hello and welcome to my stream. Tonight we'll be playing more of Digimon World, and hopefully tonight's stream is going to work because yesterday we were dealing with some what I believe Twitch server issues, but today so far it's looking good, it's looking stable. Thank you so much Argentinian server for being this great for so long. Although yesterday you failed with us, but I will be honest, I will accept it because since March I haven't been dealing with such issues. So this Argentinian server has been fantastic overall speaking. So even though yesterday we had those problems, it's still fine. Nothing is perfect, but hopefully tonight we can have some playthrough and some stream going on, right? So just to recap everything that I was trying to do yesterday, but I couldn't. Last weekend we did a lot of progression in this game, even though we got Numemon on Saturday. We still managed to learn some new skills, we were able to explore Factorial City, we got Birdramon on Sunday, and then we also went to Friesland and we figured out the side quest regarding the Igloo in there and the Yuki Darumon, also known as Frigimon, if I'm not mistaken, it's something like that. Although that's not finished, so maybe I need to return there again, then talk to him more and see what he's up to, right? But yeah, at least we could figure that out. And also, what else have I done? I can never remember everything I do, right? Oh yes, we fought Mamemon. Yeah, so the mini bosses are kinda over now, unless there is more that this game is going to show me eventually. But so far, the ones that we found, they are all defeated. So thank goodness the mini bosses and the fights are kinda taking a break. Also, unless I don't get a virus Digimon, because the only remaining place that I can think of right now that may have some crazy fights going on is the dungeon under the mansion, right? Under Grey Lord's mansion. Or basically, it's a secret lab in there. But I need a virus Digimon, a good one, in order for me to return there. But also, never mind, I just remember that there is the Insectoid tournament in Beetleland, and the plan for the night is actually trying to get a Kunemon for the first time. And hopefully we can do it. Hopefully it's not going to be a Numemon also. But let's see how it goes. I can never predict what this game is going to have to offer to me. So yeah, game, give me whatever you want. Hopefully it's something that will allow me to make progression. If not, we can always go to Monochromon's Eternal Shop, right? And then work more in there. But anyway, let's go for it. Hey Ultra, Zauza, and Subaru, how are you guys doing? Once again, I'm sorry that yesterday we couldn't have the stream going on, but I do believe it's because of the Twitch servers that were messing and uh, they were taking some time to go back to normal, right? But tonight it's looking good. I'm doing okay too. I'm just a little bit full because I ate a lot for lunch. I decided to order some rice, mashed potatoes, grilled sausage, farofa, and then I decided to prepare some vinaigrette sauce to combine with that and also black beans. So I ate a lot, but it's better to eat a lot than feeling hungry, right? So there we go. You had some roasted chicken for dinner? That sounds good. And you found a forgotten potato in your fridge that you turned it into some fries. I bought potatoes this week. Yeah, I bought potatoes, carrots, garlic, more limes. I also did some delicious lime juice that I have been drinking and enjoying. I'm also getting super addicted to eat an orange during the night. It's been something that I'm doing or that I'm liking to do a lot lately, especially this week. So I believe that I will keep on buying more oranges because it's been great, like to eat an orange during late night and then go back, not go back, but go to the bed and sleep, right? But yes, I'm getting addicted to that. It's been something that I'm craving during the late night. I'm doing alright, Subaru. Today was a chill day. I believe that's a picture of Ultra's dish. Let me check. Also, let me tell you that, oh my god, there we go. And that's not simple fries, right? It looks like one of those seasoned fries. I believe you probably seasoned it with something. And also, did you fry it with the skin or the peel of it? Because it looks a bit rustic. I'm not sure if that's the same word that people normally use in English, but in here we use the word rustic fries when the dish looks a little bit more. I don't want to say refined, but it's like uh, it's a sort of way for you to prepare dishes. It's kind of it's something we call in here as rustic. It's not something bad. It's just that it looks more, I don't know, more. Um, I don't know the words, or it's hard to explain. But it's more, let's say, casual, when you don't really care that much for the aesthetics of the dish or something, but it still tastes delicious. I think it's a bit close to the definition, but I'm not sure. But in general, here it looks great, man. And that's what is that sauce right there? It sounds like it has some pepper, and then I don't know what's the white sauce. Is it mayo? Is it somewhat of pepper and mayo combination? And also, hey Gabriel, what's up, man? How are you? Oh, so you do have the skin on it? Yeah, right. But also, they sat for a bit before you ate them, so they wrinked a bit. Oh, so you also refer to some dishes as rustic? Yeah, here it's somewhat common for people to refer to some dishes like rustic, but it's hard to describe it. Yeah, you don't pay too much attention on how it looks, but it's still a good preparation. It's a style, let's say it like that. Exactly, it still tastes fine and it's done correctly. Sometimes rustic is a selling point. I agree, depending on your restaurant and how the atmosphere of it is like. For example, if just an example, it's a weird example, but still, I think it does the job. But let's say you have a medieval looking restaurant, or maybe a medieval looking bar. If you serve some rustic dishes on that bar or on that restaurant, it fits the idea of your restaurant or your business. So it can be a selling point for those situations. It still has some charm, it still has some style behind it, and it's a characteristic that can go well depending on your business. Also, hey Victor, what's up, man? How are you? Hopefully you had a great week, man. So there is a difference between sloppy and rustic. Yeah, maybe sloppy will have technique fails and it won't be tasting that great. It's going to be very careless. No, when it's something rustic, it's more like you don't care about every little thing, especially regarding the aesthetics, but you do care about the technique of the preparation and the taste. So I do think that's what matters the most. Like if the loaf of bread has some bumps and burns in it from the hot spots of the oven, that's rustic, which can be good for some people as well. I do like some burnt taste in bread or in pizza as well when the crust gets a little bit burned. But lately, after I learned how to bake lemon pie, or actually I should say lime pie, I do like a lot the taste of burnt cookie dough, because that's the dough that I did for my lime pie recipe. That taste is good when that dough gets a bit burned. Nice to hear, man. You have been doing great. I have been sleeping a lot this weekend. Oh man, that's good. Did you have a busy week, or is it just because I don't know you are maybe more relaxed and then you have been able to sleep for longer? But sleeping is always great, man. I did get some great sleeps this week too. There was only one day, yeah, it was on Friday, that I had to wake up like earlier than usual. I had to set my timer because of the groceries. I was ordering groceries, and their best time for me to get the groceries was kind of too early even. They didn't have a very late or a somewhat late delivering schedule. So I had to wake up a little bit earlier to get those groceries. But after that, I could rest again and sleep again without worries, or like I could sleep well again. But that was only that day. It's just because you have been tired the last couple of days. I have been feeling very lazy in the past weeks. Like I have been feeling kind of low energy actually. Yesterday I was more energy than today. But it's not because I'm doing activities or doing anything in particular. It's just that my body has been on that behavior or on that mood uh, for some reason, you know. So I do feel, yeah. It's not that I have been feeling tired, but I have been feeling very, you know, lazy in general. But sleeping is always great, man. Sleeping does miracles, especially after a stressful day or even a sad day or something. There is nothing like a good sleep and then starting over on the next day. When I don't sleep is the worst to me. Even if I can just take some hours of sleep, I still feel fine about it because when I don't sleep at all, it's the worst to me. It's not that I don't like sleeping, but I don't mind spending the time awake. It depends, right? Sometimes there are interesting things happening, even during like either early morning or late night, that you would want to stay awake for that. Eventually, I think it's worth as well. But it's oh wait, I don't want to go there. But it's funny because I just remember that I was watching an interview once, and the person said that her favorite thing to do is actually to sleep. And also, I just remember this other person telling me about how one of his best binds was actually buying a great bed, and then he was saying that as you spend like a third or even half of your life sleeping, if there is something that you should not save your money for, is for getting a good bed, because it's where you are going to spend like half of your life or something. So yeah, he was super happy and excited about getting this OP bed that also when his family was visiting him, and then he was like, oh, test that bed, like sleep there for you to see how great it is. They were always complimenting it and everything. So yes, I just remember that guy telling me that one thing that you should not save your money for is your bed, you know. So you should get fantastic sleeps, and people sometimes they don't mind that much their bed quality, and then maybe they could have a better life, like they could have more uh, better sleeps, right? And then the consequence of that would be being more energized for their days or being happier for their days. And then when they can have those great nights of sleep, their life will change, you know. It's going to be better, or at least healthier, I think. Yes, I do think sleeping is great. I think that insomnia is only insomnia if it affects you in a bad manner somehow. Well, if you can really sleep easily, then that's fine. Like, oh, I don't care which hour I go to bed, that I will easily fall asleep, then that's not insomnia, in my opinion. But when you know that sometimes it doesn't just depend on your decision of like going to bed at that time and then falling asleep, sometimes it can also depend on your body decision or your brain working too much or something, or I don't know, it's getting too loud outside or too bright outside as well, and then those things will like add up for you to not be able to fall asleep easily anymore. Then I do think you should worry about it, and then it can be insomnia. But yeah, if you like have something to do during late night, early morning, and then you don't want to sleep too much, and you can have control over your own sleep, then that sounds like something good. I do be careful because I know that sometimes I can mess up with my sleep schedule, and then I do struggle with sleeping. Ultras sleep on a very firm mattress. You love it. It was hard sleeping in hotels with softer beds. I think that my bed is also very hard, but I can also sleep well in hotels in general. And I do agree that sometimes they have a somewhat softer bed, but I still don't think they are too soft. The softer I have had to deal with was actually back in my parents' house, that I was there with them enjoying the New Year's Eve and Christmas with them. I think 2 or 3 years ago, maybe 2 years ago. And that's actually when I had my first anxiety crisis because I could not sleep very well at all on that very soft and bouncy mattress of their bed. And because I couldn't sleep, I was getting anxious, and then I lost control over my anxiety, and then I had what I remember being my first anxiety crisis. And then I had to go to the. You know what's funny? It happened on December 25th. It happened on the next day after Christmas. So yeah, it was crazy, man. And then once I got there, they did the examination, and then they couldn't see anything wrong, and then I was like out of breath, almost dying. And then I decided to just give it time, and then they put me on a thin mattress in there, one of those car, not car, but cart, maybe cart mattress. I don't know how they are called in hospitals. I don't know hospitals and medicine vocabulary, but you know those carts that people can lay on them. They put me on one of those, and I was there taking my time, trying to chill down, and then eventually I could relax. And then I returned home, and then I started to sleep on my parents' bedroom. But even my parents' bedroom or my parents' mattress was not fantastic or not as great as the one I have in my home in here. But then on the next year, like last year, they changed the mattress of their bedroom. So I did have an easier time last year when I was visiting them. I still would say that it's not perfect, but I could sleep every night, and then I didn't have a lot of backache or even leg ache or something after sleeping there. So it was okay. But I still think my bed in here, my mattress, thank goodness it's fantastic to me. I also bought some berries, but they were not too sweet. Which berries did you get? Your friend Jack explained a similar situation he experienced, like he couldn't sleep and then his anxiety triggered or something. That's how anxiety started to me. And then after that event, 6 months later, anxiety attacked me again, but then that time was mostly because of the lack of vitamin D. Yes, I do think that was because of vitamin D levels of my body that were very low. And that was the worst. Yeah, the second time it attacked me, it was the worst. I actually thought that I was going to die. My parents were visiting their parents in the northeast region, so they were far away from my home. I was alone in here. I couldn't sleep. I had a freaking intense and fast heartbeat that couldn't relax at all. Only after like 2 or 3 days of struggling, I found this one yoga technique, like it's a breathing technique on YouTube when I was almost giving up about strategies to relax. After I did that breathing technique, I could finally stop down my heart from going too fast, too intense, too crazy. And then I went to the bakery. I bought some tea in there, and that's when I started to drink tea. And then I also bought some coconut water. I don't know. Yeah, it's coconut water. I should not say coconut milk because that's something else. It's coconut water. And then coconut water has a lot of electrolytes and vitamins and stuff. And I heard or I researched that it seems that it helps you to sleep as well. So I tried all of that, and then I finally could sleep. You don't know what triggered your friend, but his attack was described the same. Oh yeah, like when you go to the doctor, they take your pressure reading. They see if you're having a fever or something. They will say no, you're normal. Oh, your pressure, it's all good, it's all fine. And then I'm like, no, it can't be because my heart is like pumping like crazy, and then I can't breathe. And then they are saying, no, your pressure, it's fine. It's so crazy how the instruments, they cannot detect a panic attack. It makes no sense. But they were saying that everything was normal, and then I was just dying inside. You're fortunately enough to say that you don't struggle in those ways, but not to say that you are without your own. Yes, I do think that everyone will like have their own struggles, but thank goodness, man, you don't have panic attacks or crazy anxiety crisis. And stay being like careful and healthy because unfortunately it can hit anyone. I'm not certain what Alza is saying right there, but I think it's a reference of an anime. Maybe it's Naruto that I still haven't watched. Yeah, there is a lot of benefit behind coconut water, right? I didn't know that it could help you to relax and sleep though. The herb is what helps you. Oil or the smoke form. I remember you went through a phase last summer checking your BP? What's BP? Something pressure? Blood pressure, maybe. Checking your blood pressure all the time, and then you felt like going up the stairs was triggering a very hard heart rate and pressure. But then you went to the doctor, and he was like, "You're fine, see ya." Yeah, that sucks, right? Maybe you were getting a little bit anxious in there. But you don't escalate as far as demeanor goes. But you do know where you're mentally vulnerable, though. Your coping mechanisms work well. Oh, wait, and I got the reference of Naruto right there. There we go. Although I still haven't watched it. Yeah, it is good for you to know your problems, pretty much, Ultras. Like, you said that you know where your triggers are or like what they are. It's really good for you to know them so you can have better control of your feelings, even if something happens that could be attacking you on that spot, right? It took me some time to, of course, learn more about myself, and then therapy helped me on that, and also to understand how my thought or thinking process works. And then in the end, I figured two things. I figured that I'm a kid, and I figured that I have a disaster simulator on my brain. So after I realized those two things, I can work better with the situations of my life today because I know that sometimes I'll be overreacting, I'll be imagining worse situations than what reality really is telling me or showing me. I'll be suffering in advance for things that don't even exist or are proved. Or like the situation that happened this last week with the Pokemon Go group that I was telling you yesterday, that they decided to ban me because they disagreed with hacking or using a fake GPS to play the game or something. I was like, okay, I'm like the owner of my own thoughts and my own decisions. So I would just say bye to you right now instead of like keeping this going and trying to find a solution because I realized it was not worth for my energy and for my mental health to keep on that going. So I was like, okay, bye. I don't want this negativity in my life, and then that's it. I started to take more control over everything that I accept to uh, to me and do something about the things that I do not want to keep on my life or that are not making it better. For example, after that fight I was having this week, I realized that this sucks, but it's better for me to give it an end than keep it going. So I learned a lot about those things because otherwise I could be seeing myself stuck into situations and running after people or trying to excuse or to say that I'm like sorry for things that I even haven't done or something. That's like the feeling of guilt. Sometimes the guilt is not yours, but people do want you to feel guilty for some reason. So I'm more open or awake regarding those situations and controlling more what I accept to my life and which sort of people or energy that they provide to me I take and which I also don't take. So yes, it was good because I'm now, let's say, more rational and more aware of how I do behave and how I should also react to those situations. So you get anxious in a sense when it comes to dealing with friends and then overthinking the status worth value and mutual fondness. Yeah, it's expectations, right? If I can summarize all you have said in there, I would say maybe expectations. So you gotta be careful with expectations. So you tend to be overbearing until you can hear or have situations that make you believe that things are fine. About that, I also learned that I need to work with answers. So I do agree with you that I also need to like get to a situation until I feel more relaxed or like until I feel less worried about situations. And the way that I found to finally get to that state is by being more direct. Yes, I also have learned more on how being more direct so I can get the answers. Even if they are shitty answers, even if they are like horrible answers, it's good to get them regardless. Even if they are answers that will ruin a friendship or like I don't know, make you feel bad for some time, it's better getting that answer instead of like suffering from not knowing what's going on and then blaming yourself for the situations. No, get the answers and then you work with that, and that's it. You also know and understand why people's decisions are made by waiving out the possibility of their own comfort or safety being compromised. Also, Unitex, hello, how are you? Well done. Being direct can be very daunting and scary. I agree. It's not the easiest thing to be done for sure. I also think there is always a moment for you to be direct. It's not like every time is the day for you to do it, but it's important, especially if it is something that's destroying you inside that you are super curious about, or you're suffering even from not knowing what is the result or what is the truth or what really happened. It's good to really like place the cards on the table sometimes and then have that honest conversation or get the answers you are looking for, even if in the end, I don't know, the friendship or your connection to that person ends or something. It's better for both parts, even like it's fine, we tried, and then let's just move on. I respect you for being part of my life for some time, but then it's not working anymore. That's it. It's better than like keeping things, you know things that make you struggle about your emotions and your thoughts. So sometimes it is important for you to be more open, direct, and if the person is still like avoiding you or not answering you or being evasive, then maybe you should take the decision like, okay, you are not helping me out in here. I tried, I was direct, I was honest, and then you can have peace of mind to leave, because there is also that you will know for sure that you are not like guilty for that situation because you tried to get the answers, and even when the person didn't give you them, you know that you did your best, so you can move on with peace of mind. Good to hear you're great, Unitex. For you, you're all for directness. Me too, man. I'm really learning to be more direct, and it's been great. It's been really great. Gabriel is saying, I have a serious problem because you are always like 100% honest. Well, let's say that there will be always people that will like you for that and people that won't. Even if you are not like 100% honest, there will always be people that will like you because you are not 100% honest, and people that won't. Like, you will never be able to please everybody. So if that's the way you are, Gabriel, stay being yourself. But just be aware of your characteristics, let's say it like that, because then maybe sometimes by being 100% honest, you can be hurting somebody. So you need to realize you are doing that. I'm not saying that you need to change, but it's important for you to know the consequences of pretty much your own behavior. Uh, just like what I had to do with myself. Like when I said that I have a disaster simulator on my brain, I need to be conscious about that. That sometimes I'll be predicting things that are not really reality, and then those ideas of mine may change my behavior, may change my connection to people, may put me on more distance from people even. So I need to be aware that it's happening because of my disaster simulator. And then I need to work on that. I need to go after people again, tell them that I'm sorry because I was distant, because I thought, I imagined, I figured that maybe something bad was happening, and then in the end there was nothing happening. It's just a matter of self-awareness. You can still be you, but you gotta know your flaws, your problems, like your issues, so when they impact other people and then you don't want other people to be hurt from your characteristics, pretty much, you can do something about it. So if you're saying that you are 100% honest, that's great because you know that's what you are. And then you just need to take a look when people are like struggling or uh, getting damaged for that way that you are, but it's totally not your fault. It's who you are. You cannot really change that. You should not really change that. What you could do is like maybe tell them like, I'm sorry, I didn't really mean to hurt you or something, or you gotta understand that I'm 100% honest or something. Being more direct, pretty much. It's back to what I was saying earlier. Especially when they ask for your opinion. Yeah, when you have a lot of intimacy with the person, I'm also like 100% direct, but there are always timings for you to say the honest opinion, and ways for you to say it as well. That's part of the problem too, Ultras, that people are very scared of confrontation. Yeah, man, but if it is really making you feel bad or making you suffering or something, it's better for you to go for the confrontation, man. At least there will probably be one moment of your life that you realize that you do not have that time to waste, and that you should seek for a good, like, mental health of yours. And the way for you to get that is for having those confrontations sometimes. Uh, but they also welcome confrontation because that's sometimes their way out. For women like me, it can be harder as well because people can think we are being aggressive instead of direct. Yeah, it is complicated, right? It's not everybody that's going to take a honest opinion. It's not everybody that's going to be ready for such a confrontation as well. But it's also what I was telling Gabriel, that you cannot like please everybody, but you gotta try doing something for you to stop worrying too much, or feeling anxious, or you know feeling sad over relationships you have in your life. And I have been realizing that the best way for me is for being direct. Even though sometimes the friendship or the connection will be over, like this week, for example, when I was somewhat intimidated for this person that plays Pokemon Go that wanted me to uh, turn myself into a somewhat hacker and start using fake GPS to play the game. He was kind of intimidating me to do that. I was direct to him. I was like, hey, I'm good. I don't want to do that. And then he was insisting on it. And then I was like, okay, bye. I was super direct, saying to him that it's over. Like, don't look for me anymore. The person was probably pissed, but he was indeed making me pissed as well. So I had to put an end in there. You gotta be, or learn how to be direct. Maybe that's the way to say it. You gotta learn how to be direct. Sometimes you can be direct, even not like 100% direct. Maybe like uh, you can think on strategies of like being more close to being direct, but without hurting or being too aggressive, like Unitech said. It's a thing for you to learn and to hopefully put more use in your life, especially when you are dealing with situations that are making you feel bad. And also, hey Rian, what's up, man? Dude, that person was nonsense. Like I was saying yesterday when I was trying to stream, although the Twitch servers were not working. What happened was that I was part of this Pokemon Go group, and then everything was fine. I was being polite in there. I was saying thanks to everyone that was helping me with the Pokemon raid battles and everything. And then there was this moderator of the group that I kind of have never liked him since from the beginning, because I saw that he was, saying some crazy things on the chat or on the conversation, but I also never started the conversation with him because it was not my point in there. It was not something that I was willing to do. But he decided to talk to me on private one day to ask me if I wanted to become a fake GPS user on Pokemon Go and basically become a somewhat hacker. And I was like, no, thank you. And then he was pressuring me more, like, oh, are you scared? Or do you think that something bad is going to happen to you, or something? I was like, no, I'm not interested. Thank you for the offer. But then when I want to become such a thing, I go after the answer myself. So it's said that I didn't have problems with the rest of the people of the group. They were all nice. It's just this one moderator. But yeah, man, some people suck, some people are BS, and it's better for you to really move away and leave them behind and keep a good uh, mental health of yours. And also, hey X5, what's up, man? Hello. We are having like a venting chatting right now, but we'll be playing Digimon World very soon, man. Let me go back though and check the messages I missed, because a lot has happened. Honestly, every very close friend, you have heard it all, that's disappeared, none could even own you the closure. About that, man, I think that's very unfortunate, to be honest. I did have fights, of course, with like great friends of mine, and most of them we had closures. Some could have taken more time than like when the fight was happening or something. What I mean by that is that some closures they took time to happen. For example, there was this fight and then nobody was speaking up anymore, and then years later we tried to like either solve the issue or talk again, but then there was a closure after that situation. But when there is no closure, Ultras, I think that you should just move on. You should be the one to end it. Like a lot of time has passed by. It's not worth for me to keep on going on this. And then you are the one that says bye. Especially because I remember that one friend that you tried to contact him again, uh, and he hasn't replied you or anything. That was your closure, man. That was your ending point. It was like, I'm doing this action. If I get an answer, we continue on this chapter. But if I don't get an answer, chapter is over. So I do think that chapter of that one friend of yours, Ultras, is over, even though he hasn't replied to you or answered you about what really happened between you two, right? So yeah, you gotta be the one to also say that things are over, because otherwise you'll be trapped into situations that are not good for you or that are not worth your time anymore. Man, I have a lot of chat going on. Let me go back again. Uh, Even the one kid, 8 years nothing, and very spaced out once in a while. Usually birthday, you would say something, then just stop. Regarding that, I have a very particular opinion. I even fought people about like anniversaries and birthdays, but I will mention that later. But he did reply finally due to his sister's passing last week. Oh yeah, you had that friend of yours passing away, right? Trust me, you carry so little with you when you are. That's true when you are direct, right? That's so true, man. You do carry so little with you when you are direct with people. Exactly. You can't imagine what it's like to put on a face or tolerance for someone just to be nice. Yeah, man, I do agree with you. If I don't want to be around you, the feeling is mutual. I would never entertain someone otherwise out of guilt or being perceived as a nice person or something. I used to work with someone who left the company, then you left the company, but she kept track of your team, and none of yous have anything, none of us, right? None of us have anything in common outside of work, but she always wants to Zoom meet and invite us to things online and text you to keep up, and finally you were like, please, I have no interest in any form of relationship here. Don't take it personally, but I do not interact with anyone from the career world. Yeah, I know you had some trouble with the people from your previous job, but I'm happy that now you are happier with your job or your new job. Plus, that you are really moving away from those people, right? Even though it sounds kind of rude, it is better that way. The person needs to realize that it's not working out, you know? So sometimes the only way some people can really realize it is by being direct, even though it sucks. Sucks for the person, I would say. While the rest spend their energy giving her excuses all the time, yeah, man, I would be a little bit like you too. First of all, I think I would be evading the person the most I can. But then, if it's still like, pressuring me or pushing me too much, I would eventually say something and being direct as well. Enjoy complaining and feeling guilty because you can't be honest. Let's have a brainstorm. If you know that the girl or boy of your friend is cheating him, but your friend loves its partner blindly, would you try to be honest in this case with your friend? I mean, probably. Why would you not? Wait, let me see if I got the story right though. If you know that the girl or boy of your friend is cheating, why would you not tell your friend that? I mean, if it is really your friend, the person would listen to you. It starts right there. If the person doubts you or something when you are telling him or her that, maybe you should have another reconsideration of that friendship of yours, because maybe the person is not your friend as what you imagine. So I still think it is a good move for you to tell the person, because you will see if the person will really treat you as a real friend or not, if the person will really trust you or not. I think it is worth tell. Maybe the person will also feel sad, of course, but what if the person figures that you learned that truth before him or her, but you have never said anything? Don't you think that's also worse? Rian is the person who likes to please other people and feel like they like you for validation. Wait, but not everybody, right, man? If I knew my friend's partner was dishonest, yes, I think I would tell my friend. I didn't get exactly why not. So I can kind of emphasize or empathize. So I can kind of empathize with the co-workers who don't want to just flat out dismiss their old co-worker. Oh, I see. So Rian is more of like not. I understand what he's saying or trying to do as well, because it's hard to balance it, right? It's hard for you to do the things you want, or like tell the things you really think, or like tell the truth every time. And sometimes truth hurts, and like what Gabriel said, truth can be a bitch. But it you gotta find some balance, especially if it is like making you sad, or if you are struggling with that sometimes, like Ultras was. It is important for you to be somewhat patient as well, but there are ways for you to approach people and tell them those things. There are ways for you to try being more direct. It's something that you kind of learn on how doing it. There are ways for you to be truthful and is still not really hurting people that much, or even hurting them at all. But then, Rayon, I imagine that you may be getting. I mean, I hope not, but I believe that you may be getting hurt sometimes because you are that way. Or are you not? If anything, I would comfort the partner. Otherwise, if my friend asked me, I would tell them. Voluntarily, would have to evaluate the situation. I probably would tell them voluntarily, to be honest, depending on the friend, of course, but I can totally see myself doing that. But normally I don't learn about those things though. Like if somebody is cheating on someone, normally I don't know those things. I'm like the last one to know. Since the truth will always come out, well, that's a cliche, right? Unfortunately, I have been watching the Unsolved Mysteries series on Netflix, and some truths are there still to be answered. But I get what you say. It's very probable that the truth will come out. It was the NBI. What is the NBI? Niantic Bureau of Investigation. Oh my goodness, man. They came to try and test me. Nah, it was a troll, man. That guy was a troll. He was even coming up with things, dude. He was saying things like, so after I told him that I did not want to turn myself into a GPS or fake GPS user, he started to attack me like, so why is that? Do you hate us? You hate us, right? I saw you posting shit things on Facebook like criticizing whoever does that. You know, he was coming up with lies and then he was attacking me on things that I haven't even done. So I was like, no, dude, I have not done that. And then after he insisted, after I said that I didn't do that, I was like, okay, you are here just for trouble, then bye. So he was not the NBI, unfortunately, though. I think I would confront the partner first, give them a chance to come clean. Victor brought another option, right? Although for that, I think you should have somewhat proximity to this partner. Yeah, the partner is stupid for sure. Remember to stay safe and also take care of your mental health. Yeah, that should be a priority to everybody. There is a reason why people ghost each other. Ghost each other? Probably not enough education for how to face your problems in school and in the workplace. And if parents suck at it, they won't teach their kids. Just check out the TV show Divorce Court. It's so stupid. I imagine. That's kind of crazy. I have never heard of Divorce Court before. My best friend of like a decade was a guy who could not face any of his problems, talk about any of his problems, and just really, really, really buried things, and he wore it on his sleeve. There is a reason he cut me off cold turkey 3 years ago. Not necessarily, but confrontation about something else. And that was a very petty reason to stop talking to you. Man, to be honest, even in here on this channel, on this community, there are people that cut me off because of like super shitty reasons. But I will not jump into that conversation. But that happens to everybody. And maybe you'll never know how could some people get really hurt for, you know, some very minor situations or minor issues. Do you want to have a relationship or friendship with such a petty person? I think it depends. Like, maybe as long as you have some sort of patience, you can keep it going. But sometimes, you may realize it's better for you to not keep that friendship going on. You know. But it depends. Sometimes you also may think that friendship is doing good for you. So yeah. Ultras. Wait. Ultra sarcastically thanked him for inviting him on a vacation he didn't invite you on, but went with the other friends, which was a very strange move. You could understand if he told you something about it prior to, and was like, hey man, this is happening and here's why, but like I just seen him tag himself at a resort. So I was like, have fun, man. Thanks for the invite. That was it. And then what happened, though, Truth? You probably didn't talk to him anymore, right? But then you were being direct, even though sarcastically, for ending that friendship, I believe. They are just ultimately a suck. They do just suck your energy. I mean, Ultras at that point is too late. Ultras was like this. And to be honest, like I would be okay with just being distant, but still have this mutual respect and acknowledgement, not like cold turkey avoidance. Because with the fallout of that friendship, went his brother too, who was one of the best friends you could have ever have. That's one thing that I hate as well. When your problems is not like with this one friend, but it's with the other people around that friendship, you know. I'm dealing with that too, and I kind of had to be more distant from this friend of mine because I can't stand the community around him, you know. So I do understand what you're saying, that sometimes you may end up losing other friends because of how people are kind of connected, even though you haven't fought that person directly. I do get you on that. I hope that someday I will catch up with the chat though, because I'm so behind. Why are you being so passive aggressive? Maybe that was a bit passive aggressive, but at least I'm hoping that was the end of that, right? It was the end of that friendship. I think that would be, I think that would have been uh, likely your first occurrence of being snippy. I think it was more weird because I placed together retrospectively his efforts to make sure I didn't know about it. And then you played the show the week he was gone, and he said he couldn't come, but he was like, I'm busy that day. Wait, so you were still talking to him after that? I would have said with my small amount of insight that it would probably have been better to just seek closure from a different source, like a therapist. So I think just the shock of this strange turn of events after 10 plus years of a very solid friendship. I can empathize. Empathize. I can never read that word correctly. I can empathize with you though, because Rion had a friend for 10 years who suddenly cut ties with him, and it felt like a slap. I do think that we all probably know a person like that, right? So it just made you doubt that any friendship we had was ever even real. You know what's funny? I have read a book about that. It's a book by my favorite writer, Haruki Murakami. It's called uh, Tsuru Tazaki. It's a name. It's Tsuru Tazaki and His Years of Pilgrimages. And it's a book that talks about this guy, Tsukuru Tazaki, and how the four friends he used to hang out and know like 10 years ago or in the past, how they suddenly turned away from him, and then he could never really understand what was the reasoning behind that. So the book is the story of him going after each one of those people to try to understand why they did what they did. And it's a good book that I could relate to a lot of messages of it. And it's crazy also how time changes things as well. Like maybe people could be super pissed on you for something that happened many years ago, but then today it feels like both sides are good, you know. And that's crazy because how can you change just because time has passed by and nothing else was done in that relationship or friendship? So yes, I have also read that book that was somewhat really good. Not the best or my favorite, but it's still very good with great thoughts and messages. And it's just about that. It's about people that live your life out of nowhere and then you don't understand why. And then is it worth for you to go after the answers after a lot of years? Well, in that book, the guy goes after them. But then you gotta read it to see what happens. But it also depends on your like moment of your life. There are moments of your life that you are seeking for answers, but there are moments of your life that you're just like leaving the past behind and living the present and living and seeking the future or seeking for the future. I think the friendship with him specifically, like I said, sort of fine with energy sucker, but I mean it's just the weird feeling of how he has to avoid you, and like I said, the fallout of that being complicated with other people mutual, like getting divorced and then not being able to hang out with your ex friends or family the same way, even if they were good friends and nothing happened with you personally. I cut ties with a high school friend after he went to do shady things to get money. And he also told me, well, unlike you, I'm taking advantage of my opportunities to make money. And he was selling shady Netflix accounts or subscriptions. Dude, yeah, that was probably the best decision you have done, man. And then you don't know what happened to him. Sometimes he just do some stuff that you didn't like, or sometimes making you do things that can take the advantage of you. Dude, forget that person forever. Like, leave him doing his shady business. Not worth your energy, your time, your life. Sounds too toxic. But again, I remind myself if people feel the need to have some kind of loyalty in this non-issue issue, then that also tells you something. So again, you are more okay with it. You don't like being around people who take advantage of people for monetary gains, so you don't really have much to relate with because you have never been around such people. Yes, I also don't think X5 right there should be hanging out with that person anymore. I think he took the right decision, or he made the right decision. I think your expectations are realistic, then you manage better. If your expectations are realistic, then you manage better. Wait, what? I didn't get that. If your expectations are realistic, then you manage the friendship better? Okay, yeah. And until your ex-girlfriend told you that this person will bring you trouble, you started questioning a lot of things of your friendship with him. So it was your ex-girlfriend that like opened your eyes about his shadiness? Yes, I do think it was really nice of her. At least one plus for you, even one more, maybe one more for you, even if you're not with her anymore. Yeah, she was really nice to tell you about that friend or that friendship you used to have. No, I actually didn't think about anything being a problem after you said that to him. It was sort of just a short burst of passive aggression, but almost in a more non meaningful way. Well, to be honest, I think he probably got hurt because, guys, we are all humans in here, so even though you have like fantastic and big reasons to like finish a friendship and then move away or move on, people will still get hurt. Maybe some people will recover from that soon. Maybe some people will take years to recover from that, and then I hope that they go after therapy or other friends or family members to like support them and then get some love and then get back to uh, a good mental health. Thank goodness I have been able to recover from like friendships that are ending, or you know uh, situations with people like this community of Pokemon Go. fast because of everything I learned about myself and how I behave about things. But he probably got hurt after what you did, Ultras. But I, at the same time, I cannot really, point fingers at you because he was also doing something to hurt you as well, which was not inviting you for that party. So, in the end, I think that as long as you guys are now living your lives, one on one side and the other on the other side, and, respecting from distance, that's good. But do I think that what you did was like super positive, super good vibes? It was not. He probably got hurt, but what he did was also not good. That I would say, at least a little bit, did get you hurt as well. And that's it. Like, people will uh, do things that will hurt others sometimes, and sometimes it is on purpose, sometimes it's not on purpose. But then, after thinking about the friendships and the situations, it may be better for you to just move on. Someday I will get to the bottom of the chat though. Catching up with chats for nerds, Alan? I mean, what makes you think that I'm not a nerd? I have a good friendship with her, there we go. Things as a couple didn't work, so we decided to stay as friends. Talking about the post on the resort photo again. Resort photo? And message him shortly after about something else, didn't hear back. Then again, man, ultras. Honestly, ultras. I think that if I knew that our friendship was like going bad, and then there was that situation that happened on the place that you said thanks for inviting you, which he didn't do to you. Dude, I probably would have banned or blocked you like right away because I'm that person. Um, Oh my god, did you guys hear that? There is a soccer game going on. People are celebrating outside. Where are the fireworks? Maybe the fireworks will come soon and then rip the dogs. But man, I probably would like, stop getting those messages because I would be moving on. So I'm not surprised he didn't answer you anymore. But I'm surprised he didn't block you. He was like still getting your messages. Then gave it some time, maybe a week or so, then nothing. Then some time after that, and then nothing. And then that was it. Hopefully, it can help you to see warning signs and cut ties earlier. I do think so as well. Crap like this is why people say it's hard to make friends as adults. Um, but the time to make friends is when everyone is young and stupid. I think there are many reasons why it's hard for people to make friends as adults. Anyway, what are we aiming today? To become Kunemon? Yeah, that's the plan number one. Meeting friends at age 14, you aren't really equipped with the same awareness as you are. Wait, as you would be at 27. That's true. Yeah, that's now I get it. But I still don't think it is the only reason why. Because guys, at the same time that you are more aware of like the bad things that can happen on a friendship, or you may be able to see when people are uh, I don't know, doing shady things or not being great friends or something, or being toxic. Even though you are more aware of everything of that, the fact is that you also learn to appreciate people that are there for you, or uh, how can I say this? Maybe from seeing what is the bad things about uh, making new friends as an adult, or after learning through your experiences, after seeing the bad things that has happened to you in your life, you can also learn the opposite, like what worked for you and which friends you have today that uh, were are still there for you, or that that friendship worked out really well and how it happened. It's a lot for you to think, but basically you just need to be nice and see if people are being nice to you, or something like that, you know. But I think it's also hard for you to make new friends as an adult, because when you are an adult, I would say that your life becomes a little bit more independent slash family. uh what is the word? Family focused, maybe. And then, you know, you start to create an enclosure around that, either independence of yours or your family members, your family groups. And that's why it's hard, in my opinion. But it's still doable. You just need to be open to more experiences, to go to new activities, maybe to start joining groups of people with like things in common with you, or at least one thing in common with you, so you can start a connection in there. Just like what I was doing with the Pokemon Go group, that unfortunately, because of one single person that was sadly a moderator, I was banned from the group. But the other people, I was having a good time with them in there, even though it was just by playing Pokemon Go. So yeah, I think when you were a kid, maybe you are more open to those activities. You know, you are, I don't know, joining the swimming club, or joining the movie club, you know, or you are playing soccer. And then those activities will little by little introduce you to people, and then you try becoming friends with them. But once you grow up, it's kind of harder for you to start new activities, or uh, going to and also going to places without the people you already know. Because if you go to like some places with your own friends, you may not be too open to start talking to a new person if you already have company, you know. That are all of those things to consider, I would say. But I do understand that after losing a lot of friends, or being frustrated after many people you have met in your life, it kind of, you know, creates a somewhat scare, or like uh, it blocks you from being 100% open, or like not feeling suspicious over other people. I do understand that, but at the same time, you should still not give up. You should still try to meet new people, make new connections, even though it's complicated. And of course, if they don't work out, then you accept it fast, and you accept it in a good way. Like, okay, it's not doing it, so it's better for me to just move on and then buy and everything. Then staying on a toxic relationship. Okay, let me go back again. Um, Meeting friends at the age 14, you aren't really equipped with the same awareness you have, or you would be at 27. Having people that make you better are the ones that you gotta keep. Yeah, I wouldn't say that make you feel better every time, because like some people will also have their issues that you gotta be there for them too, and you know, sometimes they are depressed, sometimes they are sad, and then sometimes they are, I don't know, they have this one thing that can trigger you sometimes. It's not just that make you feel better every time, but people that respect you, people that appreciate you being there for them, you know. And I would say it's that it's people that you feel that you want them to be part of your life, and vice versa, that they want you to be part of their life too. But there are many ways for you to see that, you know. It's not something easy to answer. Sometimes it can be a word the person says in their messages, like the way the person treats you, the way the person feels uh, safe about opening her feelings to you or something, you know. Those things, they can make a difference. But even though you, I don't know, may have some bad days with that friendship, because like the person may be doing or dealing with some crazy things, it still can be a good friendship, you know. Actually, I was watching a video that it's a video that I kind of wish I have watched it like some years ago, because then maybe I would have had different actions or decisions in my life. It's a video about how like people normally try to find a perfect friend, and then there is no perfect friend, you know. And then the video was defending that you should keep people in your life, even if they don't like will be there for you 100% of times, or like for most times at least, because you gotta understand that first, people are different, of course, but that there is no issue, there is no problem about like having a friend for playing this one video game, or having a friend for watching this one genre of movies, or having a friend for you to, I don't know, go take a walk or hike, you know, or having this one friend to go fishing. And then there is going to be this one day that, man, but I don't want to go fishing today. Today I want to play games. And then you go after the friend that likes to fish and you ask him to join you to go play video games. And then sometimes that person will not feel good about playing video games with you because he likes to, I don't know, fish. And then you may feel like disappointed, like, come on, it's going to be fun, I was expecting you to do that with me, you know. So the video was saying that you should stop like uh, expecting people to be there for you for every little thing or every little hobby that you like, and that there is no problem for you to keep like friends for each one of the things you like to do on separate. And that's good, it's great, because if one day you want to do that activity, you will have that one person that enjoys it too. You know, it's something that a lot of people try to seek, like a person that will be there for every single little activity. You need to fish, to draw, to go to the movies with me, to go to the theater, to go to concerts. That person hardly will exist. But yes, I wish I kind of have heard that before, or I thought more on that before, because I did have fights with some people that I was somewhat expecting more of them, because they were only on that certain group of like interest. The people that I'm thinking at this moment are like some friends that I used to have because they were my video game friends, especially by the days that I used to play 3DS. But I was kind of hoping that they could like do more activities with me, or like go for walks, or you know, meet on other occasions other than just playing games. And that was not happening, and then little by little with time that friendship was like getting colder to me, you know. But yeah, that's also something that I would say for you all to think a little bit, that it's okay if like you have friends that they only have this one interest, and then like that's their deal, instead of like thinking that that friendship sucks because the person can't be more than that, you know. No, you should like think that it's fine, because if someday you wanna do that activity, you have that company that may be actually the best company, instead of like getting the fishing friend to play games and then the fishing friend doesn't like to play games, and then it's not going to be as enjoyable as if you were playing with the person that likes to play games. It's like people don't need to like everything you like, or your friends don't need to like or to do everything you do. It's something important to remember. And I was watching this video. It's actually an old video, but I got back to it after these many years. And it's a very good message because sometimes you do lose friends and friendships because of these expectations of like, man, but you gotta be there for everything that I do in my life. And then, like, maybe the person is not going to be that person. And then it's okay, because the friendship you had with that person was different. It was not that complete pack of like many DLCs that the person will be there for everything you do. And then, it's not healthy for you to think like that. So let me catch up with the chat again. Yeah, Gabriel, I know it's been a great hour of gameplay, but hopefully I'm saying good things, or at least I'm trying. I'm still catching up with so much chat though. You weren't really too upset about the whole vacation ordeal, but enough to call him out on it and move on. Not enough to throw out a friendship like that. Rion is voting for Stingmon. I will see if I can get either Kabuterimon or Kuagamon, because I don't know if Stingmon is on this game. But hey, I guess the value of the friendship is obvious, right? I just hope whatever he's up to, he isn't carrying holes in his stomach over this or anything else. I do think that if he were, then he would probably find a way to reach you out and have a conversation with you. So if he's not doing that, he may be alright. He probably is already on another life adventure. It would be cool to have Stingmon as your friend. I mean, if he's not stinging me, then sure. Oh, I thought that the joke was that Stingmon would be like, stinging you. Yeah, Stingmon would not be undesirable at all. Nah, Stingmon is cool. Oh, you don't like insects, X5? I don't like roaches. And centipedes? Yeah, centipedes. I think leaving the past behind is easier when there is a strong That's true, yes. When you have a strong present, yeah. And lots going on for most people. Not much is going on at all this year, so let's say. Yes, I agree with you, Ultras. That there is also that. It's not easy for you to leave the past behind. That's why you gotta also seek for help. So with less stimulating progression and ideas and executions and events, more time on my mind to think and cycle, but this isn't too different than your normal anyway, so again, managing is fine. X5 stopped contacting that dude for like 3 years, thank goodness. I think he was expecting you to confront him about it and use that as his ticket out, which whatever, who knows. Haven't really bothered contacting nor if you haven't felt it. Maybe someday one of us will again. I know he is healthy, so that's okay. No, of course, but I own it to your personal self-worth to also not pretend like it didn't happen either. Yeah. But then maybe you should just I mean, you did that after that confrontation. You messaged him, right? But I would probably just, either have a private conversation or try to have a private conversation or text him. But then if he was not like answering you or replying you, then I would like, okay, so you lost your chance, goodbye, you are not part of my life anymore, and that's it. Digimon got older because of all the chat. You see, when I was saying on some streams ago that a lot of chatting happens in here, that's fine. Although expect the game to only happen for, after some hours, maybe an hour and a half. No, cause honestly, call me naive, I guess, but I didn't think there was a huge problem. I just brushed it off very quickly and then move on and continued the friendship as is. It wasn't until you realized he stopped replying that there was a problem. Especially since he was slow to reply overall, and then you thought it was just his normal tiredness in communication. I see. So you thought at first it was just what he was always doing, right? I think I understand him well enough to sort of conceptualize his decision and just leave him be. You're sure trying to deal with. I'm sure trying to deal with me after all these years might get him anxious or something. You thought that you made a new good friend last year, but turned out you were just being used to go to hockey games through your ticket. Wait, through your ticket hookup? But then, like I was just saying, isn't it good to have a person to go there, like to the hockey games? But again, if it's like uh, something that you were also not too happy about, then of course just move on as well, right? But that's what I was saying a bit ago, that you may not expect that people will be there for you for every freaking activity or for every little thing. For most people who have families they interact with, that is the case. For those who don't, it's the opposite. You try doing that, but you actually never really fell in a crowd where you found friends you enjoy being around. I had once a good crowd of friends, but unfortunately, probably because of my fault as well, but not fully, because there was reasons why I felt the way I felt, but mostly because of my fault, because I kind of shut down. And then thanks to me shutting down, I couldn't communicate or tell them what I was going through. It was like the beginning of my depression, I would say, and nobody understood what I was going through, and then I couldn't tell them also what were the problems that I was having. But yeah, before that event that I shut down, I used to be part of this crowd that we were amazing friends. Like we were fantastic friends, almost like a family. I used to sleep on their houses during the weekend. It was during the days that I used to go to Rio a lot because they lived in Rio. But then after that, and then I even tried to reconnect to them, but it didn't work. But yes, that were those people. Maybe today I could say that I still have friends that they are like fantastic friends to me, but then it's not like a big crowd. It's a small group of people. But a real crowd or a big crowd happened some, let's say, 11 years ago maybe, when that friendship started. But today it's good. Like I moved on, they moved on as well, and that's it. Well, as an adult, you aren't thrown into situations with a lot of other people. I agree, Victor. And then that's one big reason why it's hard for you to meet new people or make new friends. That you're forced to see on a regular basis and socialize with them the same way. But it's still the easiest way for you to make friends. If you wanna meet new people, you gotta start new activities. You gotta throw yourself into a new group. It can be either virtual or real or like physical. Like start a new language, start learning a musical instrument. Join a new uh, forum as well. That's how you will raise the odds of like making a new friendship or starting a new friendship, even if it is a limited friendship, like with only conversations of that one specific topic. School and stuff as a kid is kinda more like a prison than a workplace in that sense. You don't want to be there, and neither does the other kids. I mean, there are kids that want to be there, not everybody. Yeah, exactly. Other than work, maybe you don't work in an industry with like-minded individuals. Well, about people you meet in workplaces, I think it's complicated because I don't know, they can be very different people. Maybe it's going to be hard for you to meet someone that has the same hobby that you have. So I know that some people do make fantastic friends in their working places, but I don't think it's that easy. Well, I do now, but my one coworker you hit it off with is like 4,000 kilometers away. Work is a pretty different thing socially compared to elementary school. To be honest, I was also not able to keep a lot of friendships from my high school, elementary school. So maybe both are hard for me. Like thinking on places to make friends, because people are so different. It is in a sense that the age ranges are there and there is politics in place for workplaces, right? You also likely had some degree of choice when it comes to your workplace. In one way or another, you probably choose to be there. Yeah, there is that. As a kid, you were forced to go to school, and then that forms a sort of camaraderie that wouldn't happen otherwise. Yeah, Victor got a point in there. I recently read a study that compares schools to prisons in that sense, but from the perspective of how that affects the teacher's work. That's an interesting comparison. Pink Floyd would be happy about that on his video clip, right? Another brick on the wall. Interesting chat is happening, and that's the main reason for my streams. I mean, sometimes my games in here or my, uh, let's say, gameplay is not the best, but it's good to have this chatting sometimes too for us to bond, right? For us to like see things we have in common and different opinions as well. It's great to have moments like this for us to connect even. It's not only about the game, especially because let's say that for most time the game is what happens. But yeah, when we have a conversation like this, it's always great. I don't know for Digimon, but like, please don't pause the video game to chat for you. Wait, why not? Because I know there are people that want to see the game, but it's what I said. Like, I will play the game. Once I start playing the game, it's going to be kind of harder for us to go back to a crazy conversation like the one we are having right now. It's not impossible, but it's going to be harder. So I would rather have this long conversation right now than once I start the game. You were never engaged in school because maybe ignorant, but you know that that what you were being forced to learn accidentally would never help you, but socially it did. Actually, I think that we cannot predict those things. Like, you never know what's going to be important for you in the future once you learned it in the past. I think for me, I have tried that a lot and it doesn't seem to land anything good, so I just manage with the reality. It's stressful trying new things that don't work out every time, even after forcing it, thinking there is a break in period. But I usually get fed up with seeing people in those groups and just bond, let's say. You are at a strange age where you find activities you do have people like 15 years younger and are teenagers or 15 years older and have children, so it's hard to bond. Well, it is hard to bond, like, that's one big truth. But again, you gotta keep on trying, you gotta not give up. There are ways for you to do it too, as well. We also didn't have a chance to chat yesterday, that's true. I blame the chat, shame on you, chat that doesn't stop. Just blame me? No, man. I'm doing all the talking. Wait, is it not just chatting stream? My life is a lie. I finally caught up with the chat now. Pura Zarabudo. Wait, Zawarudo. Zarabudo on Digimon World. What is a Zarabudo? It sounds like a bot, maybe, to be playing the game while I'm chatting. But there we go, we finally chatted. Or we finally caught up with the conversation. Actually, the arcade here was the one spot I had no problems going to hang out, even solo, because people would play Mortal Kombat. Man, I miss that so much. I miss going to the rental stores and then like playing Paper Mario 64, Mario Party, Mario Tennis, and then suddenly another kid would stop by, hey, can I join you? Let's go, you know. I don't even know who you are, your name, or if we are going to talk again, but I miss that so much. Sometimes those people that randomly show up in your day or on that one specific day that you are doing this one specific activity, they are more than enough for you to have a fantastic day instead of like hanging out with a friend, I don't know, in another place. I used to go to so many events, especially in Rio, like concerts, expositions in museums, gaming events as well. And in there, I used to meet some people randomly just for that day. Like, especially people that I also saw that they were kind of alone as well, you know. And then I still had a fantastic day, even if maybe we would never meet again, you know. So I miss those places, like places where you can just go do play Mortal Kombat or something and then interact with uh, strangers. Oh, I gotta watch JoJo X. X5 right there is a big anime fan because he threw a Naruto reference that I didn't get, now a JoJo reference that I did not get. Sometimes younger people and you didn't mind, but now it's against the law to go to the arcade. It sounds like what happened to the arcades in Pokemon, like in the Pokemon games. Oh yeah, so about this baby Digimon, Koromon said that we should train him on the same training course until he grows into a rookie, right? So I will go Punimon. I will go for speed. Let's do something different this time. I will make you the fastest bug ever. You find that arcades are timeless. You always got a kick out of the 12-year-olds that would be like, woo, Mortal Kombat! Mortal Kombat! Anyway, referring to Mortal Kombat 2 from 1994, but it's 2019 and there is like way newer ones that 12-year-olds would get excited over instead. Do you mean new characters? Man, I miss some concerts too, Victor. I'm not talking about big concerts though. I used to go to some. Um, how can I say this? They were maybe popular concerts, like instrumental concerts that some kids were learning how to play their music instruments, and then they were also funded by like educational programs and the government. So I used to go to those concerts with like kids finding their life opportunity thanks to music, basically. And man, they were so awesome. Like they were also free concerts, so it's very inviting for anyone to stop by there and check them out. But they happened in the fortress in Copacabana Beach, so it's also a very beautiful place and location. And they used to play bossa nova. They used to play both Brazilian and international songs. They used to get invitations like from um, all sorts of musicians around the world. There is this one thing that happens in Rio every year that's called Rio's Harp Festival. It's a moment or it's a month in Rio that a lot of people that play harps, they are visiting and making concerts around the whole city. So they got those people in there as well, and then they also got Scottish people or maybe people um, impersonating Scottish people. like by playing the accordions, but I don't know how is that called really, that instrument. It's not like an accordion, but it's close to it, that uh, that crazy instrument that I don't know its name in English. So anyway, it was super great. Like not only they were great themselves, but also they always had some uh, other artist or other musician that was invited to join them. And then I used to love going there, watching their presentation, and then walking by the seaside, listening to some music during the night, and then taking the bus back to my city. It used to be a really good time. Let me catch up a little bit in here. I had two Rammstein concerts lined up, Aqua and then Nightwish. X5 is not a big fan of JoJo because people spoil the heck out of it. I only know it has a lot of deaths, but I kinda don't know spoilers of it. Besides that, there are a lot of deaths. So someday I gotta still watch JoJo and Naruto. It amazed you to see kids excited to see the classic Mortal Kombat in arcade. So you mean that they were excited to see the old games? Like I thought they would be like, oh, that's so old that it looks dumb. Oh, I see. So some people that were fascinated for seeing like the classic games or the arcades. Some people can be like, some kids are like, no matter which sort of electronics you give them, they will have fun regardless. Some kids are like that. Oh yeah, Victor, I remember you wanted to see Devin Townsend, Devin Townsend's Halloween's concert, right? I'm guessing it's still going to happen, or has it happened already? But I remember you were excited about that. But then they see it and lose their shit and they wanna play it. You can't recall who else was on tour this year, but not much was announced early, and then everything got cancelled. Am I feeding you more? I'm not feeding you more. So who knows what would have been as well. I know Ghost is aiming for 2021, but we'll see. I have no optimism concerts are coming back soon. And I mean decades? Wait, you have no optimism for concerts in decades to be back? I agree that I don't feel like concerts will be coming back soon, or at least I will not go to a concert anytime soon. But then not decades. I only know an accordion and that's it. Yeah, it's the squeeze box. Yeah, the squeeze box is the thing that. Never mind, I will show you what I'm talking about. And we got to Cinnamon. Okay, let me get my phone. X5 is more a fan of a Suikoden and Steins Gate. I know a little bit of Suikoden. It's a game that I may be playing blind, hopefully soon, maybe next year. And then Steins Gate, I know less about it, but I know it's about time traveling or something, which makes me interested. But yeah, I don't know like what to expect from it or something. But it might be good. I should try it at some time. Let me show you the instrument. So when I was talking about the Scottish musicians, this is what I'm talking about. Although I don't know how is this called in English. I have no idea. Have you seen this before? It looks like a toy, but it's a musical instrument. No idea how this is called in English. Pipes. Okay, maybe it's called bagpipes. Oh, it is bagpipe. It says right here. Yeah, they invited those musicians playing this thing, wearing clothes like this one as well, and it was freaking great. They were even playing the Brazilian anthem by using that instrument, so it was very mind blowing. And of course, it was like my one time and only that I could see that instrument in my life, because who else would have that, right? So it was freaking epic. Like 20 years, you would say? And you mean concerts as they were pre-pandemic? Handcuffed to a table with 50 people behind glass and a concert to you, unfortunately, but you are happy that it still works for some people? Yeah. Yeah, it's the bagpipes. I do hope the vaccine comes in a few years, but I was even telling my mom this today when I called her that even when the vaccine is out, stay under quarantine, give it time to see if the vaccine really works, if it doesn't have like side effects, because if there is one truth about this pandemic and this virus is that we don't know this virus that much. And then people are crazy for answers and solutions that may be making people to rush into conclusions, and maybe those conclusions may be wrong. So I'm telling my mom, like, no, like, stay at home. There is the vaccine studies, but be patient because even after it's there, let's wait and see if it's going to work, no side effects, because when people are desperate for solutions, they can jump into wrong answers. So yes, I was even telling my mom that even though the vaccines are going, the vaccines are, everybody is like pushing those news super strongly. Be rational about it because maybe people can be mistaken. Maybe they are just pushing that so I don't know. Some people can be feeling more uh, feeling more calm about like this unknown future of the pandemic. No, you gotta give it time. Like vaccine is out, great, but then don't go out like first day the vaccine is out, I'm out, and then I'm going to go everywhere I want, and I'm going to go to the concert. No, like wait, because you gotta see if it's going to work. You gotta see if there are no side effects. You gotta see what's going to happen, and then only after that time. And by the way, I lost some frames. Oh my goodness, don't do this to me again, please. Rip the frames. Can you still hear me at least? Because I'm pretty sure the frames are dead. So Steins Gate is a visual novel from 2029 which follows Okabe Rintaro and his friends as accidentally making a time machine. Yeah, that's all I knew about a time machine. But honestly, that sounds enough for me to jump into it because I love time related animes or shows. Yeah, it is getting choppy because my OBS is showing me that the frames are dropping like crazy. So I will keep on talking because I hope that you can still hear me at least. And I'm giving it time. But then this sucks because this is going to be the second day in a row that I'm facing this trouble. Okay, we are back. After the Twitch servers were uh, looking bad again for us, just like what happened yesterday. But now it's looking stable, it's looking green. So let's hope it stays like that so we can at least have a little bit of game progression. So, those people that spent a whole hour watching the beginning of this stream that were just chatting pretty much, or that was just chatting pretty much, they can at least have some hopes of like which other Digimon will this guy get. Maybe it's going to be Numemon, so they can also have that guilty pleasure of like, oh yeah, you mess it up again, ha 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 ha, you are going to suffer with Numemon. So they can see at least a little bit of Digimon, right? Because I believe that's what they joined for. But anyway, please Twitch, allow me to play this game a little bit at least. At least let me get Kunemon, right? Kunemon will be something new. We'll be registering him to the Digimon chart. Let me do at least a little bit of things in here before you go down again. But that's funny because it happened yesterday, it's happening today, but I'm thinking it's only with me. Like I haven't seen or heard any other person struggling with like the servers yesterday. But at least tonight it's back, so let's go for it. So Yoda didn't spend much on mobile games nowadays, so he has been avoiding Genshin after learning it's like 0.6% rate on a 5 stars. Jesus. Okay, so that gacha right there, it's bloody bad. So I see what you're doing. It works, yeah, now it's back. Wait. Okay, it's still good, right? I saw a yellow in there, but don't go to red. It's going to red. No? Twitch. Are you kidding me? So mostly it's green, but it's going to red a couple times. But it's mostly green. What the heck is going on? Can I play now? I will try. I will try playing, and then if it looks bad or if it gets worse, then please let me know. So we got Solomon. His next stage is rookie, and it is what I'm going for, right? I'm going for Kunemon, which is a rookie. So I'll keep on training him here, but when he wants to go to sleep, I will go to Kunemon's bed and put him to sleep there. It would have stayed green forever if I were at 360p. Man, I don't think so though. Probably the problem on Genshin is pull for weapons and characters when the player only wants characters. Wait, so you can also get weapons when you are doing the gacha when you only want to get characters? Okay, that sucks as well, that you can't separate them both. I know that I still have some frame drop issues, but it's looking mostly green, so that's why I'm still going in here. But I'm keeping an eye on it. I love how it showed me 666, the number of the beast. Are you possessed, Twitch? Is that why you are being bad today and yesterday? Maybe the answer for this is to exercise the stream. Which reminds me of the video I watched earlier today, which was a video that was listing moments that were banned in the Digimon anime. And one of the moments that was banned in the Digimon anime was a somewhat exorcism session that happened on season 1 when Joe and Sora were dealing with the giant Bakemon. It seems that in the English dub, they were not exorcising him. They changed the dialogue or the text in there, so it didn't sound too religious. But in the Japanese and then in the original version of that scene, they were saying a Buddhism chant, right? Or they were doing a Buddhism chant, so they could you know get away or get rid of Bakemon. In the Portuguese dub, they were also saying like a praying or a chant or a chanting, but I would not relate it to Buddhism. I could not relate it to any religion. But the one that was like the number one censorship that happened in the English dub was actually the one that happens in the last episode of Digimon Season 1. And I thought it was such a ridiculous change, because I mean, part of it was something that I can understand, but the changes on the text or on the things that the characters say, that was dumb because they changed Apocalimon, which was like the final boss of season 1 of Digimon, and they messed up with his text a lot because he was originally saying some very depressing and heavy things, and he was even kind of cutting himself, like cutting his own arm in one moment. And then they when they were dubbing it to English, they changed it completely. I understand they removing that scene of that he was cutting himself, but they changed his text like a lot. He was saying things like, but pizza with horrible crust sucks, and something. And then Mimi was like, no, don't say that, pizza with horrible crust. They went on a completely different and not serious direction with the English dub of that scene. It's like ridiculous. So I was saying that, I was like, man, maybe the English fans of Digimon did not have like uh, a heavy impression from this anime like I did. Because one of the things that I said to everyone here after we watched it, now as an adult, was that Digimon is actually an anime for adults. Like, I saw a lot of heavy things here and there, some plot situations that were like heavy or more directed to adults. But with those censorships and then the changes on the dubs in English, in that case, maybe the English version is chill. Like, who knows? They even changed a scene, and then I also understand this change as well. I'm not saying that I don't get why they did it, but I just thought that the result was kind of dumb. But they changed the scene that they are in Japan again, and they are trying to go back to their original city. And in order to do that, they need to get a ride because they are out of money. And then all of the kids, they try to like be a hitchhiker, and the only ones that can really make a car to stop and then get everyone a ride are Sora and Mimi, pretty much the girls. And then the driver stops because he thinks that they are cute. But on the English dub, they changed that, so like there wouldn't be this sexual situation going on, especially with kids, which I totally understand being changed. But then they went for a direction of like, oh, that driver, it's Sora's cousin out of nowhere, so yeah, that was kind of weird as well. But yeah, like the censorship in the English dub was super crazy. That's why you hate dubbed shows, Alza. They change the dialogues to whatever they want. Exactly. When I was seeing the number one on the list, that they were changing the final boss, like the true villain of the anime, saying things like pizza about pizza and crusts of pizza, when he was actually saying heavy things of like humanity must die and you kids will have no future, I feel no pain, and then he was like cutting his own arm, when he was saying those horrible things on the English dub, he's talking about pizza. I'm like, what? It's so dumb. They cut some scenes and repeat old scenes and put new dialogue on it. It ruins the experience. At least like make a smart change, because I do also understand, like I said, I do understand why they censor it and why they want to change it, even though I may disagree. Like I think it's not that a big thing or a big deal if for example, when they were exorcising Bakemon, they were saying a Buddhism chanting or like a Buddhism praying. I don't think that's a big deal, but I understand like let's avoid religiousness so it doesn't complicate things. But I still think it's dumb, because for the same reason, this one anime called Shurato that was aired in Brazil but not in many countries, because it deals with Hinduism, it was banned in so many places and so many people could not watch that anime, and it's freaking good. So I don't know, people go for so many crazy censorship sometimes. But then the one that he was cutting his arm, I understand, but then don't give him a dumb text to say, like a dumb dialogue. And then the one of the hitchhiking, I also understand that, come on, kids should not get rides from strangers because those strangers will be like with, a bad intention probably. So I do understand their point. I agree with them, but then don't make it dumb though. Be more creative, like think on a different way or find another solution or just, I don't know, remove the whole scene out of it. Do something else. And then the Swedish dub of Digimon is not really for adults at all. It's very childish, Victor, man. Maybe then it's even worse in the Swedish version. Sometimes you notice the dialogue doesn't fit exactly, but when they cut some scenes, you just never know they actually did cut anything. That's true, it's not something easy for you to realize if there is a good editing of the scenes. I agree with you about that. There are some scenes that they can totally like take them out and then you'll never realize that they removed them. But if they are dubbing over those scenes, then please, come up with a better story than just coming up with a random situation just because kids are watching. Because maybe that's what they think. Oh, it's just kids, you can say anything, they will like it regardless. But come on, making the true evil guy talking about pizza in the middle of the apocalypse. No, that was super nonsense. But yeah, they were also listing some other censorships as well. One that I even realized myself, like I was rewatching it, and then there was that whole final plot with the four Dark Lords, and then there is Pinocchimon, and then Pinocchimon was inviting TK to play with him, and then in the episode that TK goes to his house, he gets a freaking gun and then points to TK. So I do understand that can be a thing for them to be like censoring or something, but there are other things that I think they exaggerate, like especially the Buddhism chanting. Come on, it's a different country that has different religions in there. Otherwise, just ban the whole show then, because like it's culture. You gotta respect culture. I think it's dumb, but I agree that it's always better for you to go watch the original and then you really get the experience the anime has to show to you or to provide to you. Like I did with Dragon Ball, the first season of Dragon Ball. It's a complete different show. And it's actually my favorite season of Dragon Ball probably until today. Because when I used to watch it as a kid, I could never think it was directed to adults. Thanks to all of the censorship and the edited scenes. But once I watched the original, it was super fun. Yu-Gi-Oh's GX last arc got removed entirely in the West because it's too dark. Yu-Gi-Oh has some dark shit going on for sure, but I'm surprised they removed the whole arc of it. Like, there are horrible things even in the first season of it. Like, what could be worse than that? And by the way, he wants to sleep, so let's go to Kunemon's bed and hope for a Digi-evolution in there. Another change they did that was kind of dumb too. I mean, once again, I understand why they're doing it, but can't you come up with something better than what you did? It was an episode in, I think, Digimon Frontier, if I'm not mistaken. Either Frontier, which is season 4, or season 3, which is Digimon Tamers. It's a scene with like some Geckomon, and they are preparing a drink for this OP super strong Digimon, which looks like a Hydra, but I don't know his name anymore. I don't remember his name anymore. And that Hydra was addicted to alcohol in the original. So basically, Geckomon were always preparing some sake or alcoholic drinks to give to that Digimon. Otherwise, they would be destroyed or something. And then in the English dub, they said they were giving him milkshakes. Seriously? Milkshakes? I don't know. Say it's a, a mystical water, but milkshakes. Milkshakes was like, no. By the way, I should not fight. What am I doing here? Also, hey Ralva, welcome. It sounds like a Bug's Life scene. Wait, what sounds like a Bug's Life scene? Do you mean the Geckomon working for this OP Digimon and feeding him? I mean, bugs can have those sort of things too, right? There are some ants that they have farms of other bugs to either work for them or that they can like extract some sort of um, I don't know, benefits from them. I don't know the word though. The ants giving Hopper drinks so his army doesn't kill them. By the way, how's the stream now? I see that we are still having the frame drops unfortunately, but hopefully it's watchable. Is it watchable? Because this weekend we are dealing with Twitch server issues in here. That's the reason why I haven't streamed yesterday. Okay, let's put him to sleep and hopefully he can digivolve into Kunemon. And then nothing happened. It's been watchable, there we go. It's much better than how it was a few moments ago, that's for sure, man. When I took that break to see if it would get better, it was really bad. Like everything was red. Now it's mostly green with quick seconds of red. Oh, now it went to 0. Man, we jinxed it. Is it back? We jinxed it. It went to 0, straight 0. But now it's looking back to green. Okay, so day 1 of sleeping at Kunemon's bed didn't work, so I will go train again and hope that today he can digivolve. You should go to bed, alright, Victor? Yeah, it was a great chatting time. See you next time. You too, man. Have a great week, take care, and enjoy those fantastic sleepings, right? But we talk again, man. Take care. It always started with the sleeping talk, right? That's crazy. I was saying how important sleeping is to me and everything. And then I linked that to anxiety. And then from anxiety, we were talking about relationships and friendships and people. That was kinda crazy. Well, let's go train. Yes, I'm still seeing it going to red again. So this Tsunomon used to be a big eater, but now he's a big pooper. After I stopped giving him food, he's pooping a lot. And it's back to zero, come on. This is so frustrating. It's not going to do it, Alza. That's not the problem. I wish that was the problem. But that's totally not the problem. Why is it looking good now? I still don't trust you. You are going to go back to red, right? But it's looking good now. Yeah, he wants me to drop the quality of the stream to 360p because right now it is 480p. But I don't think that's going to do it. 720p time, Jesus. But to be honest, if this were a normal day, maybe I could handle 720p for this game. Maybe with some problems here and there, but I think it's doable as well. Okay, now it's mostly green again, so never mind. As I mentioned, it goes to zero. But I will do this. I will get Tsunomon into his rookie, and then I will probably call it. I don't know, but it's frustrating me. Okay, he wants to sleep again. I will go back there. And now I'm kind of starting to think he is not going to digivolve into Kunemon again. You have the quality options, but that's funny though that you have the quality options, even though the servers are this bad. Wait, this is the wrong place. Well, now it's good. Maybe you know what's happening. Maybe there are more people starting to stream, and that's why the server has been, going unstable. And then back to zero. 0 KB per second. But yeah, maybe there are more people starting to stream and stuff. And then the servers can take it. But then I'm getting the struggle. And he's not digivolving again. Huh. Maybe it is something rare or hard to trigger. It's not that easy, you know? Just like every little thing on this game. Yeah, he doesn't want to do it. This Tsunamoni here is saying, no, I don't want to become an insect. Turn me into Batamon or... Wait, is it Batamon? No, it's Elecmon. Elecmon or Penguinmon? I wouldn't mind a Batamon again though, because Batamon gave us Sidramon that day. Sabri is saying... Uh, this situation of having more people streaming would probably be expected by the beginning of the quarantine, maybe not now. I agree with you. I'm just like guessing. But there are still many people starting to stream lately, right? So I have no idea. But yeah, I haven't had problems with the server since forever, since March. Don't worry, Saburo, I got your idea in there, man. Even though you didn't write it right, like with everything, I still got your idea. It's time to stream on YouTube, man. Let's go stream on Facebook. I just think that people that stream on YouTube or Facebook, it's like only if they already have a lot of followers and stuff for their normal videos, and then they start streaming on in there. Not to like start a whole career from scratch on YouTube. Oh, well, it's not happening there, so it's not Kunemon, right? That looks like Penguinmon. Oh, it's Elecmon. There goes another Kunemon attempt. So Elecmon is data type. Rip Kunemon, right? I'm probably doing something wrong. Wind Cutter and Electric Cloud. Let's give him Electric Cloud. And then he can also get the Dynamite Kick. No, I don't want the Muscle Charge. Give him Wind Cutter and Dynamite Kick, yeah. So all I know is that Elecmon can turn into Dreamojamon, isn't it? Oh, never mind. I don't know anything that he can turn into. Okay, so I will continue the train. Oh my god, I forgot about something important. I forgot to get the training manual. Sabri is saying that's weird. I don't remember seeing this hard times for you to get Kunemon. Well, there is always a first time, right? So we are going to be the players that are going to have the bad odds to get Kunemon. Training manual. I'm going to deposit that, deposit those two. I'm going to deposit that too, the prickly pear. I will deposit the mushroom as well. I will buy a potty because I used the previous one, and I will go get the meat. So is it still watchable? Is it buffering? Is it chopping? I think it's better for it to be chopping than buffering because buffering is the worst. But if it is just choppy, then it's somewhat okay, right? As he has as he has just digivolved, I'm expecting discounting here. So let's get some bodies. Give us 5. No discounts? But he just digivolved. Come on. Maybe it's only for in trainings and babies. Or a very short time. It is chopping. Okay, at least it's not buffering then. Because I hate when it's buffering. Oh, hey Bookmark, how are you? It's chopping. Chopping is okay, I would say. At least it's only chopping for the image, right? The audio, I believe it's okay. Let's see. How can we balance his stats now? He has 146 of speed. Actually, let me get you to 200 of speed and then we go for the other ones. Oh, by the way, I watched the trailer of a game. It seemed good until yeah, it's always like that, right? Remember last weekend when we were exploring Friesland and then we were trying to make Bertramon sick and stuff? That was such a well-timed stream, like for everything that was going on the chat and I was saying, and then the game was reacting to it. Normally, it's like the player that needs to react to the game, but then on on last Sunday it was the opposite. The game was reacting to us. So I do think this game hears us, and it also hears us so well that we kind of jinx it. Now considering this Twitch server issue that's going on, it's probably because we are talking about it. Maybe if we stop talking about it, everything goes back to normal. You know, it can feel our energy. It can hear us. They are between us. But I was going to say that this week, or actually I should say actually yesterday, I watched a game trailer of this one game called What the Golf? Yes, it's called What the Golf. And I got Polybridge feels after watching it, but I'm hoping that game is easier, of course, than Polybridge because Polybridge was also very technical. Polybridge was like, uh, how can I say this? It had its comic part, but in reality, it was very technical, right? It was very specific, very realistic as well regarding the mechanics, but it had its comical side as well. This one, no, this one looks very goofy with like the most crazy and creative ideas ever. So I was watching the trailer and I loved the wackiness of that game. So I will see if someday I can play it because it looks really fun. And it also goes on very weird ways of golfing. It's not like regular golf, just like the title of the game says. Oh, Sabri is saying that the stream like stopped and then he had to close it, open it again, and then now it's all dark to you and now it's back. Dude, I cannot stream like this. Yes, I cannot stream like this, guys. But Bookmark, the game looks amazing. I would totally recommend you checking the trailer of it. It has so many references as well of other games and other things too. And then it turns the idea of the game is like turning everything into golf. So it's a very ambitious game, and I got super curious about it. So I'm pretty sure by the day that I decide to stream it, it's going to be really fun because of how unexpected and also promising it looks like. And then I also kind of checked the reviews on Steam. Everybody was complimenting the game, saying it was the most fun game they have played. It was such a fantastic experience. So I really got hyped for that one game. What the Golf? And it would also be fun because not only it looked like a somewhat simulator because of how the levels are very different on their takes on golfing, but also it's going to be a sports game as well that we kind of never really play here. So I think it's totally a game that I'll try getting at some point and streaming if possible soon. But we will see how that goes. And then I'm here recommending it to you to check it too because I really liked what I have seen. And maybe it's not a very popular game, but I can't stream like this. Like I'll be every time like looking at it and then thinking, oh, is it bad? Is it good? Is it better? You know, it sucks. I'll get our champion here, and then if this is still unstable, I will call it. So I'll keep on playing until we get the champion, and then I'll probably be stopping it. Because then it's not going to be the quality I would like to be giving you, you know? But at least we had the chatting at the beginning of the stream, so at least something worked out well. Not the game, but the chatting. Okay, I will stop it in there. He got to 198, that's good. Let's go for attack now. Yeah, definitely check it out, Bookmark. It looks super fun. And the reviews, like I said, they were all saying great things about the game. It's called What the Golf. There is another game that was released not too long ago, but I forgot its name, but it's about this one character that he has some tasks to do on his working place, but then you can go completely wild in order for you to achieve the objectives, right? So you can cause a fuss, you can destroy everything. It was released for the Nintendo Switch, but then I don't know if they released it for other platforms too. Probably they have. I need to check that as well because I would like to test that game someday if it is out for Steam. And I forgot its name though. But it's about this worker that is like a new employee, and then he has tests of like carrying one object to the other side or to the one room. But you can like destroy walls, you can throw things, you can, you know, uh, even start a fire if you want. It's a very open game for you to do whatever you want, and you can either play it safely, like trying to avoid disaster, or playing it dangerously. So I love those games, you know, that they have all sorts of mechanics that can go either good or bad, and surprise you that sometimes they can even work when you think it's all ruined. But I forgot its name. It had a pun on its title though. It's something that I should not forget. But it's been some months since it was released. I even watched the beginning of it. But those are good games for me to be playing during the breaks between RPGs, right? Some games that are just fun, chill, and wacky and crazy and different. So now, Elekimon, you don't need to go back to Kunamon's bed and sleep there because you are not Kunamon, unfortunately. So I'm going to put you to sleep in Fire City right here. I also need to remember that maybe it's important for me to scold him and to praise him, because those things also matter for his Digievolution, probably. So I will see when is the good moment for me to do that. Actually, maybe now, because he's not disciplined. So Alza, if you're still there, are you still hoping for Numemon? Do you still think that we are getting another Numemon? Because Kunemon failed. But I hope that... Yeah, he's not disciplined, don't you think, Relva? He was with his shades. Like the blue face and the shades. Now he got some discipline in there. I will feed you again, yeah. Oh, you know what? I have another idea. Although, again, I should have done this in the beginning of the training. But unfortunately, I forgot about all of this. But I'll try. I want a carrot. Wait a minute, don't you think that there is a similarity between Elecmon and Kokatorimon? What if Kokatorimon is an evolution of this guy? It could be. They look a little bit like, right? Okay, so that's what I wanted for offense. Let's go for defense. And also this is raising his brains. That's good. I will give you another one, but then please give me a break. Okay, I'm not feeding you again. I just gave you the sirloin. But isn't that weird though? That he was like hungry and wanting to poop? Okay, this may sound a weird question, but Can you do that in real life? Like, can you feel hungry and want to poop? I don't know if you can have both feelings at the same time, you know? I know this is a weird question, but I'm now wondering. Eric, hello, thank you so much for the follow. How are you? It's funny that you are following right when I'm making this crazy questioning, but I'm like, I don't ever remember feeling hungry and wanting to poop at the same time. But hey, it's just a game. I should not like take it too seriously, right? Sabri is saying, but he was not hungry when I gave him the sirloin. He was not? Wait. Okay, so now I understand why his discipline went down. Because I also noticed that. But I could swear he was hungry. I don't know if I wanna answer that question. Yeah, I was thinking on like myself. I don't think you can have both feelings together, you know? But anyway, it's a weird question. You don't need to answer it. You're doing good, there we go. Oh, people with some stomach problems uh, can feel like that. I mean, yeah, maybe it's just that I don't remember like an experience of my own with like, oh my god, I'm hungry, but I also want to go poop. But yeah, it can happen, right? It can happen. Everything can happen pretty much. It's just something that I do not remember. So let's continue the defense training. Oh, now he's tired. But before going there, let me scold him. And then I will go check Centauromon. So Eric, do you like this game a lot? Have you played it as a kid? Or have you been playing it at this moment? Because a lot of people stopped by this stream and they were saying that they were actually playing this alone, right? Right now we are kind of very far on this game because of course it's been like 100 how many hours already? 118 hours of playthrough. So we have done a lot in here, so in case you are playing this along, be careful to not get spoiled. But there is still a bunch more for us to achieve, right? So I'm trying to get to some new Digimon, I'm trying to complete some other side quests that I have found. You do realize that by scolding him wrongly lowers happiness. I do, yes, I'm aware of that. Oh, you like this game a lot? You play the PSP one and the Cyber Sleuth game. But the Cyber Sleuth one, correct me if I'm wrong. Oh, never mind. Maybe it is not, right? Because the one that looks more like a JRPG is the Digimon Story game. Never mind. Maybe the Cyber Sleuth goes on this idea or like the same direction of this game. It is odd though, or an odd thought, but you think it can happen to some people. It probably, right, happens. I just couldn't remember it happening to me, but maybe it happened to me as well. So you played this one recently, but you have never beaten it? And you play many Digimon games. This is actually my first Digimon game ever, even though I used to be a big fan of the anime. I was even talking a little bit about the anime sooner today, regarding some censorship that happened, because I was watching a video that was comparing the original Digimon anime with the one that uh, got dubbed in English. Although I have watched the one dubbed in Portuguese because Portuguese is my first language, or my native language. But yes, I'm really enjoying this one game in here. It's surprisingly hard but also rich on details and complexity, and I love that on games because it's something that I don't think it's easy for developers or the creators of this game to achieve. So I respect complexity a lot, even though it may be frustrating at times, it may be hard as hell, but it's something that I gotta respect, you know. The people behind this game were smart, they thought on it a lot, they did what they could to get to those mechanics to work. So, you know, I do respect that a lot. It happens to me on many games, like Banjo Tooie, for example. I don't know if you have played Banjo Tooie. I hope you do because it's a fantastic platformer, by the way. But in Banjo Tooie, they have one of the most complex levels I have ever seen in my life, which is Grunty Industries. Man, that level is like an universe. That's all I'm saying. It's kind of scary how detailed it is for what it is. Like, for being a level in a Nintendo 64 game that was so ambitious and so well executed. But it's like you either love it or hate it because for its complexity, it's also crazy hard as hell. Wait, Portuguese is your native language as well? Are you Brazilian or are you from Portugal? We did have a person from Portugal here during this playthrough. Roberto, right? I'm Brazilian. My English is good. Thank you so much. Your English is also good. So you do have Banjo on your Xbox. Oh, you're Brazilian as well. Isso aí, mano. Tamo junto. You can feel free to speak in Portuguese if you want. Although I will be replying you in English so more people can reach out the stream and understand our conversation, but you are free to speak in English or in Portuguese. I would kind of suggest you to speak in English so you can also train and practice your English, as I'm also training and practicing my English every time I stream. It's a forever learning process. It's a work in progress. But yeah, like you're free to go for Portuguese or Brazilian, just have a good time in here and whatever makes you feel more comfortable, then go for it. But I would totally recommend you playing Banjo, it's so good. You were never ever interested to play it? Is it because it's an old game or is it because it's a platformer? I can understand if some people today don't have like the desire to play platformers or something, but I would tell you that you are missing it out. Like, Banjo is really good. You're good about speaking in English, there we go. It's good because it's also going to help you to train it, right? And help me to keep it up with my English. Not to mention though that when I speak Portuguese on my stream, I feel uncomfortable because when I'm here, I kind of change the switch of my brain to English, and then if I need to go back to Portuguese, I feel weird. Like, I feel like I'm not saying or speaking the right language for that moment. So my Portuguese sounds uncomfortable. It sounds like weird, like even though it's my native language. So it's kind of crazy that uh, I don't feel comfortable speaking in Portuguese in here. It's because you had other games you were interested in. Oh, I see. So maybe after in the future, after those other games you're playing, you should try going back to Banjo, especially Banjo Tooie. Banjo Tooie is a beautiful game. It's hard AF, and my dream is to beat that game 100%. Someday it's happening on this channel. I don't know when, but someday. But it's such a good game. You forgot how to Portuguese. I haven't forgotten how to Portuguese though, but I don't feel comfortable. It makes me shy as well, you know. I feel like I'm saying things that some people are not understanding, and then the sounds are different, you know, like making that switch when my brain is not set for it, it messes up with me, like it makes me feel awkward. But of course, if it is needed, I can switch to Portuguese. I mean, I can try switching to Portuguese. But I won't sound natural, I think. Oh yes, I went there and I forgot to rest him. Or to put him to rest. Oh, by the way, Eric, I'm so sorry about today's stream quality. We are dealing with some Twitch server problems. Is it better now though? I'm looking at it and then it's looking green. But don't be surprised if it drops, like if there is like some uh, if the stream starts to be choppy, like losing frames and everything, because unfortunately it's been a hard week for my stream to be looking good. And this hasn't happened in a long time, but it's happening this week. Oh, you see, it's going back to red again. Don't worry, you get self-conscious when you spoke English like 4 years ago. Wait, what do you mean by that? Self-conscious? Are you saying that you started speaking in English 4 years ago? But it's also this one thing that I think that our whole researchers and you know people studying this is what they say, that people have different personalities for when they are speaking a second or other languages. And maybe when I'm speaking in English, I feel more, relaxed and more chill. And I don't know, I feel more comfortable when I'm doing this. But then when I'm speaking in Portuguese, maybe I still don't. Maybe I still need to, you know, maybe uh, have more experience with like speaking in Portuguese in front of a camera and everything. It's funny, right? How it should be the opposite. Like my native language should be the one that I feel the most comfortable of, but it's actually not. At least not for what I started doing in here. To be honest, you played really not so many games from the 64. It's okay. I know how the internet can be here, but it's funny because I actually haven't had this sort of problem since like March. And I also know this is not a problem of my internet, it's a problem of Twitch. It's like Twitch servers having a problem. It's not something that I can change. For some reason this weekend something is going on Twitch itself that hasn't happened in forever. Because when it's my internet, I can see that the stream goes offline, and then we normally don't see the frame drops or the stream feeling choppy. But no, right now my internet's good. If I check my phone, it's good. It's the frames right there. And it's because of the Twitch servers. I was even changing them all, and then they were all looking bad. You mean that sometimes you get shy when you speak in English around that time? Oh, 4 years ago? To be honest, that's how it goes for pretty much most people that are trying a new language. It wasn't that good and it had a lot of problems. That's also common for everybody. But now whenever a friend of yours in the US speaks in your chat, you can practice more. And now you're not that shy of speaking it. Yeah, you gotta understand that. I mean, maybe some people will kind of judge you, of course, because they are dumb or idiots. But like most people will be chill about it. Like as long as you can communicate, that's what matters. That's actually what people want to happen. They want to communicate with you, and they gotta also understand that English is hard. Actually, any new language you try to learn is hard. So of course they shouldn't have the hopes of like, oh my god, give me a perfect English when I'm talking to you or something, because it's not fair. It's like, oh yeah, so now please give me a perfect Spanish or a perfect Portuguese back, right? It's not fair. And you should not like worry too much about it, because the more you practice it, the more you try it, the more you speak up, the easier it gets, like the better it feels, and the more you learn. So yeah, in the beginning it is hard to everybody, but the more you kind of put those thoughts on your mind, it gets better. And then once you also realize that native English speakers and also native Portuguese speakers, like native any language speakers, they will also struggle with their own languages sometimes. Because there are things in every language that don't make sense at all to anybody. So, just chill about it, just have fun and meet new people and uh, communicate pretty much. And that's what's the point. Now you can speak for sure, even though sometimes you miss words. Yeah, me too. Sometimes I was like trying to talk about a very specific situation or topic. Like earlier today, I couldn't know the name of that Scottish musical instrument, and now, thanks to my struggle, I learned it's called a bagpipe. You see, it's always an opportunity for you to learn new vocabulary and new words too. But yeah, you just gotta communicate, show people a picture if you need, just do your best. And then with time, the more you keep on trying, the better it gets actually. I would also recommend you to have like a place, but I have like a notebook where I take notes of words and vocabulary that I'm learning. I should read my notes though, I don't do that. But when you write something, it does help your brain to remember that word or that definition for the future better. And what I write the most is actually the way to pronounce some tricky words. Because if there is a challenging thing about English, I would say that the number one is pronunciation. Because the way the words are said and pronounced is not the same as the way they are written. So, yeah, that's the biggest deal of English, I would say. If somebody asks me what's the biggest deal about Portuguese, I would probably say the verbs and how irregular they are. So, yeah, every language will have their flaws. Like when you want a bathroom or when you want to go to the bathroom and then you think in English and think, where is the bathroom instead of aonde é o banheiro? It happened to you a lot in many situations or in various situations. Yeah, there is a moment that you start thinking in the language. As you are using it, you kind of don't make the translation. You go to the translation only when you don't know how to say a certain word. If they judge you, I really don't give a damn. You are right about that. You tell them to eat my Argentinian economy. Which, by the way, I'm sorry to hear that the pandemic is looking really bad in there. I was watching a video today, and this video keeps me updated about like world news, and they were saying that the pandemic in Argentina is really looking bad, right? Not that it's looking good in Brazil either, but I was hoping that it was better there, also because it's smaller than Brazil, so I would guess it's like easier to control. But unfortunately, I think the situation is still looking bad in there, so I do hope you guys can um, go over it, right? Or um, make it somewhat more controlled. Languages are weird, and you would rather communicate in smoke screens. Wait, what do you mean by smoke screens? I would rather communicate with cigarettes. You missed an M? Which M? I even haven't noticed what you have missed, you see? Yeah, you are doing great. Yeah, the rules, the grammar rules in Portuguese, they are freaking bad. It is getting bad in there, and we jumped from 21 most cases in the 21st. No, 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 wait. 21. No, 21st, right? 21st position of most cases in the world to the 7th position. Oh my goodness. Yeah, in Brazil, I think we are now at the 3rd position because I remember people told me that India got to the 2nd spot. But the situation here is far from being controlled. Man, no Kunemon, we got Elecmon. So now I'm training in Elecmon. I did everything right for Kunemon, I would say, but it didn't happen. No, he didn't die. He just turned into a Lakmon for some reason. And then I went down there to rest. Now I'm going to go back to training. Yeah, I think we are at the third position. We used to be at second. But I remember one week that I was here talking about the COVID as well. Either Ultras or Rian, they told me that India got the second position. Or am I wrong? Are we still second? I remember they were telling me that India was getting there. But to be honest, I haven't checked COVID news for a long time. Sometimes I check like the trending topics on Twitter, or there is this YouTube channel that I follow that keeps me updated about some world news, but they are not like too direct or too specific into things. Oh, it keeps on changing like between Brazil and India. Okay, so we are still like second, third position. Yeah, it's going to stay like that for a good amount of time, I believe, because the situation in Brazil is still far from looking better. But hopefully it changes, right? Yeah, but then in the US it's still number one. And then now some countries in Europe are also raising the numbers as well, right? Like with a second wave. Yeah, the US is still number one by a huge margin. I still think it's crazy that some people are, I don't know, thinking that now that so much time has passed by, the situation is better. I'm the opposite. I'm like, the more days it passes by, the more people get infected by it. So it means there are more people with the virus outside. So it's worse, you know. But maybe it's because people think that, oh yeah, the number of deaths are decreasing, so it's good for me to go out. No, it's good that the numbers of deaths are decreasing, but it's not a reason for you to go out. Because if you go out, you may be raising the numbers of deaths again, you know? I was also telling that my mom today when I was calling her that she was saying that she was seeing pictures of her friend enjoying a vacation and traveling and going to all sorts of places. I was like, she's crazy. Like, it's not the moment for doing that. And hopefully she's doing what she can to like stay safe, but she should not be traveling right now. And if she's thinking that like because there are less deaths it's better, it is better, but it doesn't mean that the virus is not out there growing in numbers, you know. It is just depressing. So let's see if it's going to change soon, like with the vaccines. But then again, be careful about the vaccines because maybe the vaccines don't work. You gotta give it time. You gotta see if it's going to really work. You gotta see if it doesn't have a side effect. This whole virus situation is such a question mark that jumping into conclusions is the worst you can do. You know, you gotta be safe first and then digesting the information you get, but without putting yourself into risk right away. You knew that South Korea started to have more people infected again, and you know one person from there who disappeared from the internet, and you're a bit worried about him because you don't know if he's even okay for like 6 months. Man, maybe the person, yeah, anything could have happened, right? Maybe the person was like too depressed to be doing internet content, or unfortunately the person, I don't know, got hit by COVID. But it's kind of bad that you did not get like an answer or any sort of message from that person's social media. It will be like this for at least 2 years, you believe? Gabriel, I'm with you. I do answer to many surveys. It's one of the ways I get some extra cash. It's by answering surveys, and many of those surveys are about COVID. And then they are always asking, in how many time or in how many years do you think that uh, COVID will cease and then you can go back to your normal life? I always say like not anytime soon. Put years in there. It's always the longest option, because in my opinion, it's far from looking back to normal. We can adapt, of course, but there is still a lot to be done. 6 months is a very, very, very long time, though. Yeah, it's not a short time. So for sure, 6 months is like definitely enough time for you to be worried about it, which is weird that the person didn't say anything on his socials. Yeah, 6 months is a lot. That's also why I suspect maybe the person got tired of the internet. Maybe the person decided to, I don't know, go spend more time with his family or something, and then he had to, I don't know, go back to their parents' house, and then maybe he couldn't be streaming anymore or something. Anything could have happened to this South Korean person. People are getting comfortable thinking it's safer, like going without masks. You know what else makes me sad as well? When people go out with masks, but they are always putting their hands on it and removing it as well. Like it's a piece of, I don't know, clothing. It's not a piece of clothing. It's something for you to be protected. So once you're outside, do not put your hands on your face. Like not even if it is scratching. And if it is scratching or itchy or something, I don't know, go to a bathroom, like a private place with like water for you to wash your hands and do the hygiene. But no, I see so many people like, oh yes, I have this mask, and then on the next minute, no, I wanna remove it because I wanna, I don't know, smoke a cigarette or drink a beer. People are still putting them into risk even though they have a mask. So they're only with a mask because they wanna look like normal because everybody outside will be wearing a mask. So they wanna be like judged by others, but they are not really doing the mask's job, which is protecting them. So that concerns me a lot. The world won't be the same again, that's for sure. Not for some years, I would say. I don't want to say that forever again, but for a good time, yeah, it won't be the same. Yeah, it is indeed a good amount of time. Even when COVID is no more, a lot will be. Yes, about that I do agree. Like, especially about home office and people working from home or like people even studying from home. I think that's going to be a big change as well. But there are good things and bad things about all of those changes. For example, the same video that was telling me that the situation of COVID in Argentina is looking bad, they were also telling me that in Brazil, the amount of people suing companies thanks to their home office has increased like in 200% plus. And the reason is because if a person is working from home but getting in an accident or like something happens in their home while they are working, they can sue the company. Like it's the company's job to like provide security for them, thanks to the employees' rights, right? So you see, not everything is like good news. Some people may think, oh yeah, like if I work from home, it's easy, it's simple. Maybe it's simple for you, but for the company, they have better control on your situation if you're working on their building, like on their factory or on their place. So now they need to come up with like new laws for like people working from home office, and then how is it going to be like if somebody gets hurt or have a problem, a health problem, or an accident, and then who is going to deal with it? Is it the company because it happened during the work time? It's that there are problems that some people may not think about. For the company, they probably would rather have you under their control in their building. But now that there is this division, it's complicated. Not to mention that when you're working from home, you're using your own like power supplies. and maybe the company should be the one to pay that while you are working for them, because you are basically using your own uh, power energy like to operate your computer and your devices for them. You see that there is so much that still needs to be changed and answered about this whole year. But just stay safe, because that's the priority of anybody. So now I see that, thank goodness, most of the stream has been on, it has been on the green uh, frame rate. So it may be looking much better now, thank goodness. But I will see. Let's now complete this mission of turning Lekimon into a champion. And then maybe we can provide you another quick thing. Wait, use your armor shoulder? To do what? Maybe my problem is that the program I'm using, no, it's not OBS. This right here doesn't look like an OBS problem. My computer is chilling right now. I'm looking on my task manager right there. Everything is okay. Okay for my standards, of course. I don't have a gaming PC. But like the CPU is at 70%, the memory is at 80%, and the disk is at, is that 3 or wait. Oh yeah, it is 3%. So I don't think it is OBS. OBS is fine. It is the server. This is totally the Twitch server. You have never streamed from PC or you have never made a video? Yeah, man, this is the Twitch server. I have been streaming for 3 years and this looks like the Twitch server. But thank goodness it's looking okay. It was much worse earlier today and yesterday that I couldn't even stream at all. We had a whole hour of no problems streaming today when I was starting the stream, but we were just chatting pretty much. Also, I should tell you that this is a, let's say, gaming channel, but also a lot of chatting happens. So don't be surprised if I take long breaks to be chatting instead of playing the game. And normally the chatting happens in the beginning of the stream or by the end of it. Like now, for example, we just had a very long talk about COVID. Although I was kinda still managing to get the game going a little bit. When we started the stream, I could not manage the game at all. The chat was going furious, fast and furious. Um, Wait, what? Oh, is it because of... Where am I going, by the way? Is it because of Cyberpunk? That Cyberpunk will be released and then everybody's going to be streaming or something? It's probably because of Cyberpunk, right? Or maybe not. Maybe it's because of Xbox Series X that's going to be released on that day. I don't remember when they are releasing the new consoles, but I know it's coming up soon. Which is kind of crazy, right? It's almost November. It's freaking 6 days to November. Man, I did not feel October passing by. Jesus. By the way, you are super thin. I need you to get fattier. Oh yeah, we do have a new Discord in here, even though it was something that the community made for me instead of the opposite. But I even changed the icons right there. And I will actually use this moment to ask somebody to test this for me. I also add the panel on the description of the channel with like a link to the Discord chat. Although I don't know if it is working. Because if I'm not mistaken, in order for people to go to your Discord channel, they need to get an invite. And from what I understood, those Discord invitations they last for a short amount of time. So maybe the link I put down there it really doesn't work, but it is supposed to put you to the general topics conversation on Discord. But maybe it doesn't work. Like maybe people can't join Discord through that. But at least I put the icon right there so some people get aware that now there is a Discord for this channel. Even though I don't have like big plans for it at all, some people wanted it to happen and they wanted to be chatting in there, and it's been helpful so far. So yes, now we have it. It's not because they stream only or streaming only, but I think it's strange because that game has complete nude parts, and I don't know how people will stream. So it was Cyberpunk, I got it right. Well, about that, I also don't know, but hopefully at least they will have the mature content alert on their channels when they're playing it. Oh, you can make the invitations to last forever. Oh, the link you made there is eternal. It will go directly to the welcome as soon as you accept it. Okay, so maybe I don't need to change the one that I put down there. It was pretty much the link for the conversation channel on the Discord, and I copied it and pasted it there. So, but I wasn't sure how the invitations they worked. Yeah, November will be crazy now that I'm thinking about it. There will be the new consoles, Assassin's Creed. What is Nintendo doing in November? Are they not competing in November at all? Because I don't know about Nintendo news for November. Maybe they are not doing anything. Oh, Valhalla will be released as well in November. It is okay, so there we go. Maybe I don't need your other link, Gabriel. I will keep that one down there, and then that's going to be it. Okay, now I got to 200 of defense. So let me praise you a little bit. I would rather have you happy than undisciplined. And then we go for magic points and HP, right? Maybe I should go for HP first. Yes, I'll go for HP first. Give me one training in here and then I will put you to sleep. Oh yes, I also need to train his brains. You don't think so? The last news were the overpriced Mario remasters. Actually, the last news was something that I even mentioned yesterday too. Fire Emblem, the first game ever, get imported to the Switch, which was kinda wild because it's also happening for a somewhat limited time. So we were also talking about that yesterday too, right? Like when we had some like 15 minutes of streaming that we were just chatting and then the servers went down. But yeah, the last news were actually the Fire Emblem port. Zelda will be on. Wait, Zelda? Which Zelda? Are you talking about the Zelda Hyrule Warriors? Maybe that's the one, right? Yeah, the Marth game. And they uh, have never released that game on the West, it seems. So it's going to be a first. But it's kind of disappointing that it's not going to be a permanent game, you know? It's a limited game. I don't like that idea at all. But you're talking about Zelda Hyrule Warriors, right? Yeah. They should drop more information about Zelda Breath of the Wild too, though. It is a part of the very old Fire Emblem. Oh, there was a remake for it for the DS. I know it has some new features though, like you can go back to your uh, previous decisioning, and I imagine you can also save state. You know, there are some tiny changes. You can also fast forward, but it's pretty much the original game. They should do that with the remake, which was the DS game, and put it on the Switch. I did not check the prices for it, but I'm really hoping it's not expensive. Although knowing Nintendo, it's probably expensive, even though it is a very old game. The DS and the Wii, they were very good consoles. I agree with you, especially about the Wii. Sorry, especially about the DS. I also really like the Wii, although I haven't played many games on the Wii. But the DS was really good. In my opinion, the DS was a new Super Nintendo. Especially regarding the variety of games you got to it. The other console that got such a large variety of games was the Super Nintendo, in my opinion. So there are all sorts of games, from classic games to new games, from uh, games from famous franchises to indie games, experimental games. There are so many crazy games on the DS and also on the 3DS too, right? So it's super fun for you to explore those games. And many of some of my uh, favorite franchises today are from games for the DS, like the Phoenix Wright games, the Professor Layton games that sadly Level 5, the developer, left the US this year, actually maybe last month. So I don't know how is going to be the future of the Professor Layton games now, but there are very good games in there. Also, The World Ends With You, what a game. Oh yeah, here in Brazil, come on, it's anything that's gaming related is going to be overpriced. That's why you gotta love and get all of the freebies that Epic Games has every Thursday. Even though if they are like games that you may not imagine yourself playing them at present time, maybe in the future, who knows? But get them because they are expensive. Actually, I saw that there is a trend going on Twitter yesterday and today about making the government aware that the taxes for video games are very high here and that it matters and that we are concerned about it. So there is a hashtag going on Twitter about the taxes for gaming in Brazil right now. I saw the hashtag going on and some videos on YouTube telling people to do it as well, like to promote it, so the governors can realize that we are worried about it, because there were some news about like uh, yeah, we could do the changes, but then the population doesn't mind it, like people don't mind video games that much, and then we're like, no, we do mind video games, come on, we do have a lot of people here, a lot of customers for the gaming industry, so you should do something about it. Your favorite consoles from Nintendo are the portable ones. There was one day that I was playing those chart games, you know, that they give you a lot of options, and then you need to customize your own chart to see who's the winner in the end, like who is going to be the finalist and then the winner. There was a video game chart that I had to fill up with all sorts of consoles, and then in the end, my final decision was that the 3DS was my favorite console, especially because of the retro compatibility with the DS games that I just said that has a fantastic library of games in there and variety. So yes, I realized that the 3DS was my favorite console. Aside from the Switch and the original Game Boy, you had all of the other Nintendo portable games or portable consoles. I only had the GBA, which unfortunately broke, but I could sell it even though broken. And the 3DS. I have a 3DS, although it's also kind of breaking. It still works, but not everything still works on it. So sadly, I cannot play every game anymore because the analog stick is messed up, plus the L trigger, and the way for you to recharge it. I need to remove the battery and put it on an external charger because the input for the cable it's broken too. So my 3DS is like not looking good, but it still works. But yeah, those two were my only portables, the GBA and the 3DS. Sadly, all of my video games have a horrible destiny, like either they break, like those two, or I don't know, they go to other people, like what happened with my Super Nintendo and my Mega Drive or Sega Genesis, that they were donated, and then today I kind of regret doing that. But back in the day, I was like, okay, I'm not playing them anymore, so do it. But yeah, I kind of do not have a good future with my consoles. Sabri saying it is the remake. Oh, the remake had less options. The original Fire Emblem, you couldn't change your class. Oh, never mind. In the original Fire Emblem, you could change your class, but not in the remake. But now, they put it again, put it back. Yeah, Brazil has a big amount of gamers in here. Your favorite portable is the 3DS too? Yeah, maybe not just for the 3DS games themselves, but especially because of the DS retro compatibility. But man, the amount of playtime and good days that I had with like Pokemon Y, that could be enough for me to make the 3DS my favorite. Pokemon Y was so good to me. The online gameplay with it, like playing with other people and friends, dude, it was so fun. Even though a lot of people hate Pokemon Y, and I understand their criticism, the online of it was so good. The multi battles, playing with strangers, everything was easy and fast and simple. You could simply see whoever was nearby and invite them. I had so much fun with Pokemon Y. So now I think I will go for magic points and rip my frames again. Man, seriously rip my frames. I cannot keep on going like this. So after he turns into a champion, I think I'm going to call it. Now it's looking really bad, like the worst. It can't turn green anymore. And you know what's going to turn green, I'm thinking? This Digimon into Numemon. That's going to be the green I'm going to see. Pokemon Black and White were very dear to you as well. I will say that Pokemon Black and... Wait, do you mean... No, you mean Black and White, right? But I was going to say that Black and White, to be honest, they were not my favorites at all. I do like a lot of Pokemon of that generation though because of the dark types, but those games did not get to me. Especially the sequel. No, Black and White 2 was painful to me. But I understand it, like, Pokemon Black and White is like you either like it or hate it. Sadly, I hated it, but I understand why people like it. It's mostly because of the plot as well. I talked about how you had Nintendo portables and pretty much it's because of Pokemon. Yeah man, me too. I'm a big Pokemon fan as well. I do have some Pokemon paper crafts that I don't know if you can see right there. Probably you can't, but I can get them if you want. Yeah, I'm a big Nintendo fan because of Pokemon, but also Mario. My favorite game is Mario RPG for the Super Nintendo. But Pokemon is as big as Mario was to me. Maybe now, maybe more now. Okay, it's finally back to green. Now I don't think you are looking good, Lekmon. Maybe you still have time to digivolve into something good, hopefully. How old are you? Oh wait, I'm forgetting the brains. Let's go for the brains. Hopefully I still have time for that. But how old are you? He's 4, he still has time. Maybe we still have a shot in here. Okay, 100 brains at least. Oh, he's going to poop. He's not. I'm going to give him a potty. And now he's tired. But I think I got to a good average of the points or stats. So I will keep on balancing everything. But now I'm feeling a little bit more confident that he's not going to digivolve into Numemon. If he does it, then it's fine. We tried. And we can work for Monochromon. But now I'm feeling more safe about his trainings. Oh, Mario was your first video game? Actually, my first video game was Sonic 2, because Sega Genesis was my first console. But I also like Mario a lot. Oh, good question, Subaru. What do I think it's worse? Pokemon Black and White or Sword and Shield? This week they released the second DLC for Sword and Shield, and I cannot get excited about Sword and Shield at all. So you know what? Maybe Black and White is better than Sword and Shield so far to me. I mean, I still would need to play Sword and Shield myself to see what I really think about it. But Black and White at least was a more complete game than Sword and Shield in my opinion. So you played first on the your first console was like the police station. Elecmon, it's more like Tiredmon. Tiredmon slash Poopmon, right? He has been pooping every time. Black and White is one of the best gens. It's what I told you, like, it's either you love it or hate it, right? You probably love it because of the plot, because it's like a good plot with like a good arc and then a good character. You know, it's an interesting story that goes on, especially in comparison to Pokemon X and Y, for example, that the plot sucks. Um, but then I would ask you, do you think it is a challenging game? It may have its challenges, especially if you think about the Elite Four, maybe. But then I would say that it's not too challenging, because then I would say that Diamond and Pearl was more challenging, while X and Y was super easy, right? So there are many ways that you can analyze the generation. You can also look for the Pokemon. I would say that the Pokemon in Gen 5 were somewhat okay. I didn't like all of them, especially the starters. Um, but I know some people that love the starters. I was actually talking to my friends about what is your favorite Pokemon of each type, and then they sent me a picture with all of them. I also did a picture myself. And a friend of mine surprised me because his favorite grass type was Serperior or Serperior. I was like, man, oh, that's wild in my opinion. So yeah, you know, there are many things you could analyze. But I don't know, for me it didn't hit me that strong because I think of that idea of them trying to restart the franchise through Black and White, and then I kind of felt that it didn't work to me, you know. And then the sequel was my biggest problem about Black and White. The sequel was so pointless to me. The first game was okay, but the sequel I struggled so much about it. Eric thinks that Black and White is better because at least it had more thought on it and work. Well, it did have the seasons. It had a lot of new Pokemon. The soundtrack was okay. I'm not a big fan of every song, but there were some really good songs in there. But I don't know. I didn't. Maybe my problem with Black and White was the idea of turning it as a reboot of Pokemon. You know, like I don't know if you heard about this, but to a lot of people, it feels like Black and White was like a restart for the Pokemon franchise. You know, and I didn't like it. Maybe for that, it felt a bit artificial to me. No, I don't have my Sega Genesis. Unfortunately, my Sega Genesis and my Super Nintendo were donated when I was younger, right? I say unfortunately, but I know that the person who got them loved them, but it's just because I wish I still had them today, you know. But back in the day, I was like, okay, I'm not playing them anymore, do it, it's fine, anyway. But today, I kind of feel like I would like to still have them. Rip the frames again, right? That's why I'm digivolving Lekimon and then stopping the stream because this right here, I can't keep on going. You still have yours, but you don't have the games or the controllers? Rip stream. Is it still down though? Because in here it's looking that it's still on. But it is going on and off. That's why I gotta digivolve this guy and then stop it. Save Elecmon. Elecmon, why are you not charging the stream so it can have the electric power to stay? Speaking about Elecmon, Elecmon is not here during the afternoon? Why is that? But yeah, I'm going to digivolve him and then I'm stopping. Because nobody deserves to be watching this freaking what is the word again? Chopping. This chopping string or choppy, right? Choppy string because nope. And I should not be progressing while it's like that. I'm actually going to pause the game right now because it's only on 0, like the frame rates. I don't know about this, you have never heard about it? Yeah, I'm giving it some time now to see if it go back to green, so I can continue the training of Elecmon. But this is very unfortunate. Ripstream madness. Twitch servers work or we riot. I love that emote though. That tiny blob right there. Is that the boss from uh, Yoshi's Island? It looks like the blob in there from Yoshi's Island. Maybe not, right? Maybe it's just another blob. Yeah, now the server went really down. If there is any tournament, I don't know, man. Normally, you would expect something like that, right? But I'm guessing it's just because there may be a lot of people streaming right now. That's my guess. Yes, I did watch the Digimon anime. I actually rewatched the first season when I was starting this game, or actually after I started this game, because I got nostalgic. Also, hey Emily, how are you? We are dealing with Twitch servers today as well, unfortunately, but I hope you're doing great. I'm waiting for the frame rates to go back to green, or at least a little bit better. It's getting better now. It's oscillating from 600 to 1000, so it's not going to zero. But sadly, we are dealing with Twitch server problems this weekend. But I could have some good chatting at the beginning, and then I could try to digivolve this guy. Gabriel has watched all of them? Oh yeah, Gabriel was mentioning about a Digimon movie, that he cried on the Digimon movie. Last Evolution Kizuna. So now I think the server is a bit better. Let's continue the Elecmon training while it's looking good. Oh, so that's a Dango from Clayman? I have never heard of both. Like both the game or the character. Your girlfriend told you how to use a program and you draw it yourself? It looked fantastic. So, are you an artist? Do you draw really, or was it just like a how is it called? A unique event, maybe? Emily right there draws. You watched it all too? I stopped watching Digimon on season 4. You watched the reboot? My throat was like weird right now. I was saving the reboot for the future because they are still dropping the episodes, and I kinda hate when you gotta wait for a whole week, to watch something. Although I'm doing that for Dragon Quest, the reboot, and for Pokemon as well, the current season of Pokemon. But about Digimon, I decided to rewatch the original and wait for when it's over, and then I consider rewatching it too. He lives! He's alive! I don't know why, after I read that, I thought on the Peter Pan movie, there is that music that they are like, he can fly, they can fly, they can fly, they can fly! And then I was like, here, he's alive, he's alive, he's alive, he's alive. Anyway, I thought on Peter Pan out of nowhere. And you know what's crazy? I have never watched Peter Pan the original, I think. I watched a movie they made some years later. But the reason why I know that song is actually because of this is going to be a very obscure reference, but I hope that any of the Brazilians in here and maybe the Argentinian right there will get this reference. But let's see what happens. Here in Brazil, back in the day, there used to be some Disney videotapes that were called Magic English, that were ways of teaching English to kids and anyone pretty much by using scenes from the movies, the cartoons, the animations. It was Disney's way of teaching English. So I still remember some of the moments of the Magic English videotapes, VHS tapes, that had those scenes and those songs and everything like that. And then I got that music because of freaking Magic English. Probably that's not a thing in, I don't know, in the US or in other countries, but back in the day, like back in the 90s here in Brazil, some people uh, could try learning English by watching those tapes. And funny enough, some of those songs that they had for their educational course, they did stuck with me for forever. So I still remember some things. I did stop watching on season 4. It's better to watch all of Digimon Try. Actually, I watched Digimon Try, but it took so long for them to release the episodes that I could not really get too much into it, so I kind of, you know, watched it, but I forgot everything I was watching. So it was not too remarkable to me at all. So I can tell you that I watched it, but I also don't remember almost anything about it. And maybe because I don't remember anything about it, it means that I didn't like it. Because otherwise, it would be more remarkable to me. But one of the reasons why is because they were releasing those episodes in like after taking long breaks, and then it was very hard for you to follow it. When it comes, wait, you think you didn't have those? Most of your English comes from video games. Me too. But I still remember the Magic English. If you guys Google it on YouTube, you'll see what I'm talking about. It's actually very funny, and I think it's also very entertaining for kids. They were very fun videos. But of course, they are also very specific. Like you only get some tiny tips on grammar, tiny tips on vocabulary. You don't get the whole English. But I got some of those tapes as a kid. I didn't get everything though. But I still remember a lot of them. I used to love them actually. The reboot has a shonen vibe like Naruto or One Piece. I should also watch the last movie before the reboot. So Emily went food shopping. What did you get? I actually decided to order food today. Like I decided to order restaurant food today, and for tomorrow too. What was it called? Magic English. Yeah, Magic English. It's actually very fun. It's something that I would watch like eventually again on YouTube just to remember it. It's very funny as well, and the way they like emphasize the words in English for you to remember. There is this Aladdin scene that they are getting to the city, like uh, is his name Jafar? I don't remember the guy's name, but the evil guy of Aladdin. He's getting to the city for the first time, and then he comes with like the elephants and a lot of, you know, people carrying things, and then everybody stops doing grocery shopping in those markets, and then they stop to look at them, and then as the elephants are moving, the words in English are moving as well, like elephants, elephants, elephants. You know, it's a funny way to see it happening, especially if you're a kid, and yeah, it used to be fun. I kind of wish I had watched everything as a kid. Maybe that was my best connection to Disney because I'm not a big Disney guy. Because I haven't watched many movies, and the movies I have watched they kind of didn't stuck with me. But these Magic English videos they were really fun to watch. Your little sister has 3 years and she loves Dora the Explorer. That thing was so bad localized. Why was it badly localized? But yeah, I recommend watching Digimon Adventure Try before the newest movie. I will need to rewatch it again. She loves it, but Dora talks in Portuguese and... Wait, there is a camel as a teacher? And she speaks in English? And the teacher... Wait, what? They mix English and Portuguese? Is the teacher a professora? And then it pisses you off? Yeah, there are some people that they... Oh, I caught it right, it's Jafar. There are some people that they mix them up, right? They think that the way for... Not the way, but one way for people to learn a language is if you do mix both languages together, especially for vocabulary. I think it's better when there is no other language mixed up, so you can kind of get it from context or from other definitions. But I understand that for some people, they think it's easier that way, even though it sounds a bit dumb, you know? It's kind of like a direct sequel to the series, like the movie from Demon Slayer, which is ending. Even the opening is shonen, and then Emily was going to make dinner, but she was too tired, and she had croissant. What was the croissant? The toppings of it, or the fillings? It's been forever since I last had croissant, but there is a very good croissant food chain in Brazil. It's called Croissonho, which means croissant dream. because sonho in Portuguese is dream, so it's a play on words in there. They are really good, but it's been forever since I last ordered anything from them. Mostly because they are from Rio, or at least in my region, there is only shops in Rio, and I haven't gone to Rio in a long time, so I haven't gone there. Wait, oh, when she came, I see. Wait, actually, when she came, right? When she came, I went to a farmer's market, and then you got lots of fruits and veggies. I bought some veggies this week: carrots, garlic, lime, and then I made I made I'm creating English words now. I made a delicious lime juice, and then I went to buy some household essentials: paper towels and laundry, that detergent, stuff like that. The stream, Emily, I'm dealing with is, unfortunately, I'm dealing with Twitch server issues, so it's like going up and down every time. It's oscillating too much or so much, and I don't know why. It's probably dying and coming back, but I'm thinking about finishing the stream soon. Let me pause again though, because now it's all red. I don't know what's happening. I need to wait until it looks green again. It's only red right now. Oh, maybe now? It's getting to yellow? But, like, I know for sure this is not my fault, because whoever was here when I started the stream, you saw how normal it was flowing, right? So it's not like my internet, it's not like the quality of the stream. It is pretty much Twitch. Because if it were something else, I would not be able to have a very good start of my stream without problems. So this is very unfortunate. I will see if I test the servers during the week though. I'll see how that goes. It's okay, Emily. It's like I'm kind of glad that this hasn't happened in forever. Since March, when I was actually doing the stream anniversary of the channel, that day we were dealing with streaming. We were dealing with like Twitch server problems too. But then I changed the server to the Argentinian server, and then it was the best. And then I have been using it since then. But then today it's looking bad, but I totally forgive it. Like it gave me months and months without any Twitch server problem. And now it's not only its problem. The Brazilian servers are also bad. I test them. So this is something that's going on Twitch, like which is bigger than us. Like we cannot really change it. But it's okay because it's been forever since this has happened. And I hope they are working on it or making it more stable or something. But yeah, I will turn a Lekimon into a champion, and then I'm going to stop it in there. Now it's looking a little bit better. Are you getting stable now? Yes, I think it's recovering. Are you still having problems? Because now it's looking good. Yeah, now it's looking green again. I'm going to continue the training and hopefully everything is okay for now. But I'm using the Argentinian server. At least there is only one as I'm aware of. Oh, there is. So I don't know if I'm back, but I'm back to say bye actually. I cannot keep on going with Numemon and with this freaking instability, right? Instability. Nope. It's too depressing both ways. It's a whole course on depression. I cannot. I would rather go finish watching the sixth season of The Flash, which I only have one episode, than dealing with this server and Numemon tonight. So sadly, nothing worked out for us in here, but it's fine, right? It's fine. Gabriel is talking about streaming on other platforms. No, man, I'm not making that change. No, I'm not streaming on YouTube. Maybe someday though, but let's hope it's going to be better, back to normal next weekend. And I will check on Twitter if other people were dealing with trouble or problems about the servers in here. Hopefully, I'm not the only one because then I will feel like confused because like why is it happening just to me? But probably there are other people struggling with the servers today. So I don't know if you're still hearing me or something, but I'm going to say bye because I cannot keep on going like this. I'm kind of surprised we went for 3 hours, even though it's been um, what is the word? I cannot remember it. Chopping, right? It's been super choppy and everything. Yep, that's what I'm saying. I cannot stream with no Memon and a choppy stream. Exactly X5. Not like this. Eric got a black screen. Okay, I will finish this stream. So if somebody's hearing this, thank you for coming. Have a great night. And hopefully next weekend everything is back to normal. So yeah, have